Hey guys, hope you are well. So, welcome to the Anime Fictions 2.0. This is the story about what if neglected Naruto time travel to past. Part 2. If you love this whatif, do subscribe for more awesome whatif. Share with your friends and enjoy them. Check out the other videos I have created. Comment down your opinion. Share with your friends. So, without wasting any time, let's jump into the second part. Chapter 3. The Future Hokage's Pupil. Early in the morning, Naruto's cerulean eyes opened to the sight that caused confusion to the blonde-haired boy. Above him was a roof paneled with rich red-colored wooden panels. The grains on the wooden panels were arranged so that the Uzumaki clan symbol was floating in a lighter red coloration on a deeper red background. After a few moments, the events of the previous day returned to the boy's mind, causing him to jump out of bed in excitement. "Yada, Sakura-chan, and I now have a private place to train," he exclaimed when a knocking on the wooden frame of the shoji screen leading out of the clan head's bedroom caught his attention. Who is it?" "It's me, Naruto. Get dressed and come with me. We need to discuss a few things," a feminine voice called out, causing a bright smile to form on the blonde Jinchuriki's face. "Alright, Sakura-chan, I will meet you at the dining room as fast as I can." "Alright, Naruto, but try and be done within half an hour, it is already 7 in the morning. We have to finish our ninja registration today. And make sure that you don't do something weird, baka," Sakura said with a monotone, causing Naruto to shiver in fright. Sure, Sakura-chan." Naruto saw the shadow of Sakura nod and walk away, causing him to sigh in relief. After a moment, he rushed towards the private bathroom to get ready for the day. Sakura was cooking a simple breakfast of rice, steamed vegetables, teriyaki chicken, and miso soup when Jiraiya appeared in the kitchen with a confused look on his face. When did you get here?" Jiraiya asked with a smirk, getting a sigh from the pink-haired Irionin. "Good morning to you too, Jiraiya-sama. I came here nearly 15 minutes ago. I need to make sure that the baka does not do something idiotic again, like painting his face like a kabuki actor for his ninja registration picture. Would you like some breakfast?" "No thanks, I already had breakfast. I just came by to give Naruto a scroll and tell him something before I have to leave to follow up a new lead in my spy network," Jiraiya said with a sad sight, getting an understanding nod from Sakura. "It must be hard to not be able to directly involve yourself in your godson's life because your job is more critical to the survival of Konoha, huh? You don't know that half of it. Being a spy master takes you far away from your home for long periods. I do miss Konoha and Naruto a lot when I am away, but I know that what I do keeps Konoha and Naruto safe. That allows me to keep on going even when I suffer from homesickness," Jiraiya said with a melancholic sigh. Sakura smiled with encouragement as she said, "But as you said, what you do keeps Konoha and Naruto safe. Thanks to your efforts, we were able to grow up without a war waging around us. For that our generation is thankful to you. Thank you for your kind words. Most do not understand what it is like to be away from home for years just so that it remains standing. You need some help with that?" Jiraiya asked, seeing Sakura attempting to carry 3 trays of food to the dining room. Sakura nodded with a grateful smile as Jiraiya took 2 of the trays from her. As the two were laying the trays on the dining room table, Naruto walked in wearing the uniform Jiraiya gave him. On his forehead was a Hittite with the kanji for Biju and Sannin engraved on the plate. His previous Hittite was acting like a belt. "Where did you get the Hittite?" Sakura asked with confusion, as she was sure that Naruto did not have time to arrange for a Kage Bunshin to go and buy them, or more like custom order them. "Oh, Ma came by with the Hittite this morning when I came out of the bathroom. She said that because I was an honorary Sannin, I should look the part." Sakura nodded in understanding while Jiraiya cried in anguish. "Why did Ma give you a Hittite when I had to custom order mine?" "That's because you had already had your unique costume before you were given the title of Sannin, so I didn't give you anything, Jiraiya-chan," Ma said as she hopped into the room, causing Jiraiya to cry even more. Naruto and Sakura watched with awkward silence as Jiraiya cried while Ma clicked her tongue in irritation before he rammed a rolling pin on Jiraiya's head, causing the man to fall onto the ground with a huge bum on his head. "Still acting like a child. When will you start acting your age, Jiraiya-chan?" Jiraiya stood up with a depressed expression and mumbled something, causing Ma to growl out, "What was that, Jiraiya-chan? You want me to hit you again?" "No. I was just wondering why you are still here. It is unlike you to stay longer than necessary? And how do you know that my reason for staying isn't necessary? Anyway, Naruto-chan, I want you to summon Pa or me tomorrow morning. We will start teaching you the sum of the Toad-style ninjutsu. Then we can spar using senjutsu and the ninjutsu you learned." "Alright, Ma, Dada boyo. And you need to get rid of that verbal tick. Many won't take you seriously with that present. Ma said bluntly, causing Naruto to hang his head, mumbling that he was much better than before. Ma nodded, and before she returned to Mayabo-cousin she said, "Goodbye everyone, have a nice day." "Alright, she's gone, no more rolling pins to the head. That old hag can be such a pain sometimes," Jiraiya said just before a shiver went down his spine. Turning his head, he saw Sakura and Naruto with sinister smiles on their faces. "Ah, you two will not tell her I called her a hag, will you?" "Who knows? Maybe, if you promise not to spy at the public onsen," Sakura said, causing Jiraiya to pale before he exclaimed, "That's blackmail." "Didn't you have something to tell and give to Naruto?" Sakura asked with a nonchalant tone, causing Jiraiya to snap his fingers in realization. "Right, Naruto, I will have to be leaving soon. A new lead came up on my spy network, which may be harmful to Konoha if we do not follow up. Therefore, I am leaving you a scroll with instructions on how to do Minato's Rasengan and a couple of my own ninjutsu techniques. Do not get disheartened if you do not get the Rasengan within a month. It took me 6 months to learn it, and took your father 3 years to create it," Jiraiya said with pride after he handed Naruto a scroll. Naruto chuckled and Sakura giggled when he finished his little speech. "You mean this?" Naruto said as he created a perfect Rasengan, causing Jiraiya to face fault. "How long ago did you learn that?" Jiraiya asked with shock, causing Naruto and Sakura to laugh in amusement. "Dad transferred the knowledge of the separate steps of mastering the Rasengan to me before his chakra dissipated. That was a year ago. It took me a week to learn it, and then some time more to master and then complete it," Naruto said, causing Jiraiya to stare at the boy as if he was seeing a ghost. "What do you mean complete it? Did you add elemental chakra into it?" Naruto nodded, causing Jiraiya to nearly faint before he stared, shaking Naruto like a ragdoll. "How did you stabilize it without having the whole construct explode?" "Jiraiya-sama, if you let go of him, he will be able to tell you," Sakura said as he gently pried Jiraiya's arms from Naruto's shoulder. Jiraiya looked sheepish while Naruto glared at the Sannin with annoyance. "Use Senjutsu to stabilize the technique, or you can use Biju Chakra. Use Kage Bunshin to add the element at first, until you become adept enough to do it yourself," Naruto said with a smile, getting blank look from Jiraiya. "Want me to show you?" "Hell no, you aren't going to be demonstrating Futon, Raisen Shuriken here," Sakura said with a shiver, getting a surprised look from Jiraiya. "I wasn't going to throw it. I would have dispelled it after showing it to him," Naruto whined, getting a sigh from Sakura. "Alright, but only show, no using it," Sakura said, causing Naruto to smile and nod. He closed his eyes for a few minutes before he opened them again, showing he was in Sannin Moto. He stood up, raised his hand above his head, and formed a normal Rasengan. Jiraiya looked confused until a swirling blade of wind chakra formed around the Rasengan core. A high-pitched screeching sound emanated from the Raisen Shuriken. A strong whirlwind formed in the room before Naruto suddenly dissipated it. "So how was it?" Naruto asked, only to see that Jiraiya kept staring at the spot the Raisen Shuriken was with a blank look. "You alright there, Ero Sennin?" "I think he fainted in shock?" Sakura said uncertainly as she poked the man, getting an understanding nod from Naruto. "Can't blame him, Raisen Shuriken is just too awesome," Naruto said just as his stomach grumbled, causing him to grin sheepishly. "Guess I am hungry." Sakura just sighed as she took a seat at the table and started eating her share of the breakfast after pointing Naruto to his. After they finished their breakfasts, Naruto remembered that Sakura wanted to talk with him. Sakura-chan, what did you want to talk to me about?" "Let's head to the garden, leave a clone behind. Jiraiya-sama shouldn't hear this, and he does need to know where we are heading." Naruto nodded and created a Kage Bunshin to watch over the unconscious Sannin as the original and the pink-haired Irionin walked out of the room. Naruto sat down at the edge of the koi pond with Sakura beside him. Both wore a serious expression on their faces. After a few minutes of comfortable silence, Sakura spoke up. "How do you think the rest of the world will react to the revelation of your heritage and status?" "I don't know, Sakura-chan. I just hope that IWA is not idiotic enough to start a war. That is just what Akatsuki needs to hide their movements. If the Fourth Shinobi War starts between the Great Five Nations and their allies instead of the Alliance and the Akatsuki, then I will have to do the only thing left to save my fellow Jinchuriki. I will have to leave Konoha and create an organization to combat the Akatsuki with the rest of the Jinchuriki." Sakura gasped in shock but nodded in understanding. She placed a comforting hand on his shoulder and gave him a reassuring smile. "If you leave, I will come with you. I didn't come back to the past only to see the world be destroyed by Akatsuki." Naruto gave a nod as he smiled softly at the girl. The two sat there in silence and stared at the koi fish swimming in the pond without a care in the world. It was in this scene that Yugao walked into as she shined into Uzumaki Estate in search for Naruto and Sakura. So this is where you two have been. Hokage-sama was surprised when either of you didn't appear first thing in the morning. Naruto and Sakura turned around to see Yugao in her ANB uniform and cat mask. Naruto grinned and said, "Morning Nico-chan, we kind of forgot the time as we discussed what teams we would be put into and what missions are awaiting us." "Morning Nico-san, sorry for having you come here. We will be going right now," Sakura said with a bow as she placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder and vanished in Shunshin. Yugao smiled as the two left before she left as well. "Ah, Naruto-kun, Sakura-chan, good of you to show up. These are your ninja registration cards. They contain your ninja registration numbers and other relevant information that are not security risks but still important, and I am thankful that you didn't do something crazy for the photo," Hiruzen said as he handed over their respective registration cards. Both took the cards with a silent nod before looking them over. Sakura's picture showed the perfect image of a kunoichi, while Naruto's was different. Naruto was wearing his new ANBU-style cloths and orange vest. The red haori with yellow lightning bolts lying over the vest, and finally the new Hittite. Unlike last time, this time, his face was serious. "Now all that was salvaged from your parents' house, I put in this scroll. Go through it when you have time. Now normally I do not do this, but with your skills and teamwork, I think it best to ask, what do you think of working under Hatake Kakashi, your father's surviving student, with Uchiha Sasuke?" Naruto and Sakura thought for a few moments before they turned to each other and started going through hand signs Hiruzen was not familiar with. After a few moments they nodded to each other and turned back to Hiruzen with a serious expression. Sakura finally spoke up, "I mean no disrespect, Hokage-sama, but would that make our team disproportionately strong? We have no problem working under Hatake-san and with Sasuke, but aren't teams meant to be balanced?" Hiruzen nodded with a smile. "You two remind me of when I used to teach Jiraiya and Tsunade. You are right in that your team would be stronger than usual, but this year, there are many clan heirs passing. Due to that, we are creating specialized teams. Your team's specialty will be frontline fighters and heavy assault. If required, extraction from behind enemy lines. I think that a team as powerful as you will serve well in those positions." Naruto and Sakura nodded in understanding. "Alright Gigi, just tell Sensei that if he lets Sasuke be the team he normally is, I will send the team to the hospital." "Sorry Sakura-chan, but you know why I said that," Naruto said with a guilty expression, getting a sad smile and a nod from Sakura. "What do you mean, Naruto-kun?" Hiruzen asked, only for Sakura to reply. "Sasuke is too entrenched in his want to extract vengeance for his clan. He can become a liability if anyone powerful offers him a shortcut to power, or he thinks his comrades are holding him back. He can easily turn on us. Fortunately, I have enough knowledge to be able to keep an eye on his mental condition, but if I see that he is deteriorating to a dangerous mental state, then I request permission to suspend his ninja license and assign him to psychological counseling," Sakura said with a serious expression, getting a surprised look from Naruto. Hiruzen hummed as he thought about it before his expression turned serious. "Is that a request as a comrade or a fully certified Irionin?" "As a fully certified Irionin," Sakura said without hesitating, causing Hiruzen to nod. "Request granted. I will have the scroll written up and give to you by the time of team assignments." "Thank you Hokage-sama," Sakura said with a bow, getting a smile from the old man when the door to the Hokage office opened and in rushed a spiky brown-haired boy with a long blue scarf, wielding a kunai. He was wearing a yellow t-shirt with a red Konoha symbol, gray pants, and blue goggles on his forehead. "This is it Gigi. I will defeat you today and take the hat from you," the boy exclaimed as he ran into the office before tripping on his own scarf. Hiruzen just sighed and Naruto stared at the boy with a well-hidden fond smile. Sakura just stared in confusion before she groaned. "Huh, you two tripped me," Konohamaru said as got up and pointed at Sakura and Naruto, causing both of the former to sigh and the latter to pick up the boy by the collar of his t-shirt. "Listen Gaki, you tripped over your own scarf," Naruto said with annoyance as he raised his fist when Ebisu ran into the room screaming, "Honorable grandson, where are you?" Seeing Konohamaru being held by Naruto, Ebisu grunted out, "Unhand him, ruffian. He is the grandson of Sandaime-sama." Konohamaru grinned as he looked up at Naruto, expecting to see the look of awe only to see annoyance. "I don't care if the Hokage is his grandmother," Naruto said as he punched Konohamaru on the head. "Besides, my father is the Yondaime." "Huh!" Ebisu said as he critically stared at Naruto before exclaiming, "Ah, Naruto-sama, forgive me. I didn't recognize you without your orange tracksuit." Naruto just waved it off and turned his attention back to Hiruzen. "I am going Gigi. I will see you when I have a bit of free time. Kurama is pushing me to quickly master the basics of the 5 elements. I will be leaving as well, Hokage-sama. I need to get back to my endurance training. Sakura said as the two tried to walk out of the room only for Konohamaru to say, "Huh, who's the flat-chested girl?" Naruto, Hiruzen and Ebisu paled in fear, and an ominous presence filled the room centered around Sakura, who had a sweet smile. As Sakura approached the brown-haired boy, the other 3 would swear that they saw a demonic entity overlapping Sakura's position. "You are quite the sweet little gaki, aren't you?" "That I am, flat-chested girl," Konohamaru said without fear, only causing the other 3 to shiver in fright. Sakura raised her hand and curled her index finger into a flicking position. "Remember Sakura-chan, he isn't a Jinchuriki. Do not hurt him too much." "Eep," Naruto exclaimed when Sakura turned her smiling face at him. Naruto could swear that he was looking at the face of the enraged Jubi again. Sakura turned back to Konohamaru and said, "It isn't polite to talk about a lady's age and their figure gaki. What do you have to say for yourself?" "What did I say?" "I just said that you are flat-chested," Konohamaru said with a clueless face. Tick marks formed on Sakura's forehead as Hiruzen, Naruto and Ebisu were now trying to look as small as they could so as to not direct the girl's irritated attention on them. "Shinaro!" Sakura screamed as she flicked Konohamaru on the forehead, causing the boy to fly into the wall. Hiruzen and Ebisu paled to the complexion of a corpse at the show of strength. Ebisu thinking that angering the girl would lead to him spending an extended stay at the hospital, while Hiruzen thought, "This is the second coming of Tsunade. She even has the same anger problems as his former student." As the boy crumpled to the ground staring at Sakura in awe, Sakura turned to the rest of the occupants of the room and said, "Sorry for cracking the wall. I made sure to hold back so that Konohamaru-kun will only have a couple of bruises, nothing more." Hiruzen nodded as Sakura walked up to Naruto and placed a hand on his shoulder before both vanished in a shunshin. "That was scary. So what did you learn, Konohamaru-kun?" Hiruzen said, drawing the attention of a catatonic Ebisu. Both looked at where Konohamaru was only to see that he was missing. "Oh no, I hope that he doesn't anger Sakura-chan anymore. I don't think the girl will be able to hold back a second time." Ebisu looked surprised and asked, "Forgive my insolence, Hokage-sama, but shouldn't you punish the girl for harming your grandson?" "No, Konohamaru-kun was in the wrong. Because everyone treats him as my grandson and not as himself, he acts out in an attempt to gain attention on himself. He is not afraid to insult anyone, as he knows that most will not do anything to him. Sakura-chan and Naruto-kun's influence should remove that out of him." Ebisu nodded in understanding before he realized that Konohamaru was still missing. "Excuse me, Hokage-sama. I need to make sure that the honorable grandson doesn't get into trouble again," Ebisu said as he rushed out of the door, calling out for Konohamaru to wait for him. "Naruto?" "Yes, Sakura-chan? That is Konohamaru under the box following us, right?" Naruto sighed when Sakura pointed out the horrid disguise the brown-haired boy was using. After a moment of thought, Naruto sighed again before he vanished from Konohamaru's line of sight, leaving Sakura behind with a confused look. "Huh, where did he go?" Konohamaru said inside the box, causing Sakura to palm his face in embarrassment. As Konohamaru looked around from the peepholes, someone suddenly lifted the box off him, surprising the boy. "Huh, what happened?" Konohamaru said before a fake cough drew his attention. Turning around, he sheepishly looked up into the eyes of Naruto, who had a disappointed look in them. "Why are you following us, Konohamaru?" Naruto asked seriously, causing the boy's face to light up in happiness. "And you do know that a rock is meant to be asymmetrical, right?" "Huh, I didn't know that," Konohamaru said with confusion, causing Naruto and Sakura to sigh again. "Who has been teaching you stealth?" Sakura asked, only for the boy to declare with pride that it was Ebisu. Naruto grinned and said, "I should have known. Anyway, you haven't told us why you were following us?" "Ebisu-sensei says that his teachings will make me into a kick-ass ninja in a very short time, but until now, I feel as if I have barely gotten stronger. How can I become Hokage if I am weak? That is why I wanted you two to teach me. I heard that you two took out a Chunin without trouble. You two are very strong. I want to become strong like you two so that I can become Hokage. Then everyone would see me as Konohamaru, and not as the honorable grandson of the Hokage." Konohamaru stated with despair, getting an understanding nod from the duo. "Alright, Konohamaru, I will teach you, that is when I have free time. Meet me at Ichiraku Ramen tomorrow at noon. We will have lunch and then I will show you where I live. It has private training grounds we can use. However, know this, I am not helping you so that you want to become Hokage. I also want to become Hokage, but the reason why is different. Being a leader is the main job of the Hokage. He is not just the strongest shinobi in the village. He is also the one who inspires everyone under his command to do better, the one who administers the economic and political policies for the betterment of the village. Are you sure that is what you want? Besides, you do not become Hokage to be recognized. Recognition leads to the Jonin Council voting you in as Hokage. If you want to become strong, don't do it because you want to be Hokage. Become strong so that you can protect those precious to you. Naruto declared with passion, causing a metaphorical fire to light up in the boy's eyes. With a massive grin, Konohamaru replied, "Got it, boss. You do not become strong to become Hokage, you become strong to protect those precious to you. The Hokage is the strongest because the whole village is precious to him, right?" "That's right, Konohamaru. One can only become strong if they have someone precious. If you do not, then find someone precious, be it friends, comrades, or even family. Just do everything in your power, and then some more to protect that precious someone. Then you will truly be strong. Just look at my father, he defeated Kurama, the Kyuubi, because he was protecting the village and me." Konohamaru nodded solemnly in understanding before Naruto called out, "Aren't you coming? You did want to train with me, right?" Konohamaru looked up to see Naruto and Sakura had already walked far into the distance. With a startled look, Konohamaru scurried behind the two-time traveling shinobi with hopes to become stronger, not for himself, but for those precious to him. Ebisu had been searching for Konohamaru for over 3 hours now and had yet to find the boy. Ebisu sighed in annoyance but kept search for his wayward charge. He had looked in all the boy's usual haunts only to come up empty. The only place he has not searched yet was the training grounds. Now that he thought about it, Konohamaru had vanished right after Naruto and Sakura had, so it was probable that he had followed the duo. With that though in mind, Ebisu headed towards the training grounds. As Ebisu was nearing the training grounds, he started calling out to Konohamaru. "Honorable grandson, where are you? How will you become Hokage without my shortcut to training?" What the glass-wearing Jonin did not realize was that Naruto, Sakura, and Konohamaru heard him but chose to ignore his calls. The first thing Naruto did was explain to Konohamaru that there were no shortcuts to strength, so when Ebisu called out to the boy ignored the man's claims to a shortcut in training and kept doing what Naruto taught him to do. As Ebisu walked into the clearing where the trio were training, he saw that Konohamaru kept calmly trying to walk up the tree with varying degrees of success. Near him, 500 clones of Naruto were training, all of them doing different nature chakra training. One group was trying to burn a wet leaf. Another was trying to draw out the water from a leaf, causing it to dry up. Yet another was trying to make a leaf crumble to dust. The second to last was trying to make a leaf crumple up with right chakra. The final group was training in perfecting Senin Moto. The original was sparring with the Sakura, who had attached heavy chakra weights to her legs, arms, and torso. This is surprising. I didn't think that the honorable grandson would be willing to train in chakra control without a reward. He mainly screams for new jutsu. Ebisu exclaimed to himself, getting Sakura Konohamaru's attention. The brown-haired boy turned to Ebisu with a deadpan look and simply said, "You never told me how important chakra control was to learning jutsu. Get back to training, Konohamaru. You said that you would master it by the end of the day, so get to it," Naruto said seriously, causing Konohamaru to nod and start walking up the tree again, nearly reaching the top this time before he was blasted off the trunk. Ebisu watched as Konohamaru flipped and landed on his feet and a single extended arm before repeating the exercise. Amazing, isn't it, what a little motivation can do? Ebisu turned to see Naruto standing beside him with Sakura healing a couple of bruises on her arms a couple of feet away from them. The bandana-wearing Jonin nodded in agreement before asking, "How did you get him to realize that chakra control was this important?" "I tried to explain before, but he just brushed me off. Simple really, he believed that knowing many jutsu would make him strong. I just showed him that though I am strong, I only have a few jutsu under my command. What I made him realize is that if one learns many jutsu but not master the basics, would only weaken him. Instead, I told him that getting better chakra control would allow him to learn jutsu faster and master them better. In turn, he would become stronger, though it will not be immediately apparent. I see that's where I failed him. I normally train seasoned ninja who are recent recruits in ANBU Black Ops. I expected the honorable grandson to have the same mentality as seasoned ninja. That is why he doesn't listen to me," Ebisu said with a thoughtful look on his face. Turning to Naruto, he bowed and said, "I thank you for making me see the mistakes I have made with the honorable grandson, Naruto-sama. That along with you calling him honorable grandson instead of his given name, if you had called him Konohamaru from the start, he would have respected you more. In fact, he He would have taken your teaching method much better if you had seen him as Konohamaru instead of Jiji's grandson," Naruto said with a grin, causing Ebisu to stare at the blonde-haired Jinchuriki with awe. He could not believe that someone younger than him was far wiser. "I thank you for your advice, Naruto-sama. Now, as it seems that Konohamaru-sama is safe, I can leave him here for the moment, while I plan a new training plan for him." "How long are you planning to train here?" "I can train the whole day. Sakura-chan will do the same. I believe that Konohamaru will not give up unless he faints from exhaustion or masters the tree-walking exercise, so he would be here for a long time as well. If I see that he is overdoing it, I will make him stop and take him to the Sarutobi estate myself, so you don't have to worry about the gaki." Ebisu nodded before he vanished in a shanshin. "Why didn't you tell him that you plan to take Konohamaru as you apprentice in the future?" Naruto turned around and stared at his pink-haired comrade with a grin. "Where's the fun in that? I want to see the look on his face when he finally learns of my plans. He already had his chance to make Konohamaru into someone great. He failed just as most of my teachers failed me. He did not see the diamond hidden among the quartz." Sakura nodded before a sly smirk appeared on her face. I wonder how Tsunade-sama, Irika-sensei, and Jiraiya-sama would have reacted to you taking on a student. I know that Tsunade-sama would have drunk herself into a stupor complaining about another loudmouth gaki disturbing the peace of her village. Irika-sensei and Jiraiya-sama would be very proud of you right now." "Ba-chan wouldn't complain," Naruto exclaimed with indignation, only for Sakura to giggle at the Uzumaki's pouty face. "Believe whatever you want, now how about another round?" Sakura said before she charged Naruto with a fist glowing with accumulated chakra. With a grin, Naruto jumped back as Sakura smashed her fist into the ground, causing a massive fissure to form. Konohamaru, who had finally made it to the top of the tree, watched in shock at the strength exhibited by the slim girl. The next day, Konohamaru met up with Naruto and Sakura at Ichiraku Ramen. After a quick lunch, the trio headed towards Naruto's clan estate. "So this the Uzumaki estate?" Konohamaru stated as he walked into the compound behind Sakura and Naruto. Naruto just grinned at the boy as he walked towards the large onsen at the back of the compound. "I hope you brought your swimming trunks, Konohamaru. I can assure you that you will get wet," Naruto said with a grin, causing Konohamaru to shudder in anticipation. "Sure I did. What do you take me for?" Konohamaru said with a pout as he pulled out a dark green pair of swimming trunks from his hip pouch. "Then quickly get changed and meet me here. You can change in that room," Naruto said as he pointed to a small shack off to the compound. With a quick nod, Konohamaru rushed into the shack and closed the door behind him. "You are having way too much fun training him." Naruto turned around to see Sakura wearing a red two-piece bikini. "How you look cute. Are you planning to join Konohamaru in his training? I thought we already mastered it." "Baka, my muscles are sore from yesterday's training. I am going to be relaxing in the onsen and watch as Konohamaru has fun finding out how to walk on water," Sakura said with a small blush as she walked out to the other side of the onsen and fell in with a small splash. "Are you going to watch him, or do you have something else planned?" "I am going to read through the books on sealing Erosen gave me. I need to start somewhere," Naruto said as he brought out a black book with the title, A Beginner's Guide to Fuinjutsu Volume I by Uzumaki Kushina and Namikaze Minato. Sakura nodded in understanding as she lazed about in the onsen when Konohamaru walked out of the shack. Why are you in the onsen?" Konohamaru asked with confusion, only to get a giggle out of Sakura. Naruto ignored the boy in favor of reading the book on Fuinjutsu. "I am just relaxing." "Why don't you get started with the water walking exercise, Konohamaru-kun? Remember that unlike tree walking, where the surface remains stable, the surface of the water is ever-changing. You will have to adjust the flow of chakra to be able to keep afloat. Why don't you try it?" Konohamaru nodded and was about to walk onto the water when Sakura said, "Mind your step, the water will feel very hot at first." Konohamaru nodded and walked onto the water with jerky steps. Surprisingly, the boy was doing much better than both Sakura and Naruto expected. He had good chakra control for someone his age and with his larger-than-average chakra reserves. For the next hour, Konohamaru carefully walked about the surface of the onsen, sometimes losing control and falling in only to rise back up and try again. All that time Sakura lazed about in the onsen with Naruto sitting under a large tree reading his book. "We have been here for an hour already. How much have you read until now?" Naruto looked up to see Sakura standing above him, toweling her hair dry. "I have read through the first 3 chapters. The one about what Fuinjutsu is according to my clan and the comparison of that definition with the international one. The next was about the different kinds of seals in existence, and their classification." The third chapter introduces the reader to the various elements of a seal with some simple examples. The fourth chapter, the one I am reading, is about 2 different character sets used in Fuinjutsu. The chapter only gives the list of international set. I believe that my clan set will not be in these books, only the theory and rules my clan had developed. I will have to check the clan library to learn that set. The final chapter of this book should be an introduction to basic safety procedures and the basic rules of Fuinjutsu. Sakura nodded in understanding as she removed the towel from her head and wrapped it around her waist. I am surprised that you understood what the book said so easily. You generally learn through doing instead of reading. Must be the genetic disposition you have to Fuinjutsu. Naruto nodded and returned his attention back to the book as Sakura walked away towards the main house. A loud cheer drew Naruto's attention nearly an hour later. He looked up from the book to see Konohamaru whooping as he ran about on the surface of the water like it was dry land. Good job, Konohamaru. You got something that takes most genin weeks to learn. You have great chakra control that has now been refined even more. With your new control, theoretically, you can now learn and master any jutsu with ease. Konohamaru grinned with glee at the thought of new jutsu when Sakura walked out of the main house in her usual shinobi gear. Don't give him false hopes, Naruto. Mastering chakra control does help, but he is still a long way off until he can master any jutsu with ease. He needs a very good theoretical foundation for that to happen. Unlike you, most don't have an innate understanding of chakra manipulation. Sakura said, causing Naruto to pout and Konohamaru to look depressed. Theory is very important, Konohamaru. Learn theory and come to me if you do not understand anything. I will make sure that you understand them. Why would you want to learn jutsu when you can create your own if you understand the theory well enough? Really, I can create my own jutsu? Konohamaru asked without getting a chuckle out of the elder duo. Sakura nodded with a smile on her face as she said, Why do you think your grandfather is called the professor? He has a great understanding of theory and great chakra control. With same knowledge, I do not know why you will not reach leaves similar to him, maybe even surpass him. You do want to surpass him, don't you? Konohamaru nodded with enthusiasm, causing Sakura to grin. Then why don't we spar on the water for a bit? That will help make the exercise second nature to you. After that, I will show you a couple of books on chakra theory. You just need to start reading them. While Sakura-chan helps with you with chakra control, chakra theory, and genjutsu, I will help with ninjutsu and taijutsu, and when you are ready, I will even start teaching you senjutsu, that is unless the monkey summons decided to train you themselves in the art. Naruto stated as he got while placing the book in his equipment pouch. Now how about we make this spar a free-for-all? Konohamaru started sweating in fear. He knew that sparring with either Sakura or Naruto would be difficult, but to spar against both at the same time and in a battle royal, he knew that he was in for a very bad time. With a sigh of acceptance of his immediate fate, he got into the academy stance and waited for the beat-down he was about to suffer. Sasuke was walking down the road towards the Uzumaki compound deep in thought. The day after graduation, he met with Naruto atop the Yandame's head looking for the quickest path to strength, only for Naruto to refute his claims, telling him that only time and hard work is the only path to strength while accepting help from others when needed. Previously he would have scoffed at Naruto's words, now he accepted them without much fuss. Now that he thought about it, Itachi always told him the same thing before his betrayal, leaving him, Uchiha Sasuke, as the last loyal Uchiha. At one time, he believed Itachi, but after the betrayal, it became hard for him to accept anything Itachi told him. Naruto's words showed that Itachi might have been right. Now that he thought about it, he and Naruto were similar in some aspects as well, just as Naruto and Itachi had similar mentalities. While he knew the love of a family and then lost it, Naruto never knew the love of a family, but he understood the pain of loneliness. Then there was the fact that both of them were the last of their clans. That day atop the Yandame's head, Naruto had revealed his heritage to him, trusting him not to reveal it until the Hokage revealed it to the world, which according to Naruto should have been much later. He needed to remember to ask why it was revealed this soon. Now a big target was painted on Naruto's back, when he wanted to remain in anonymity until the Chunin exams. He already pitted the team that would have Naruto on it. IWA would be sending teams of Jonin to take that team out during missions. The night of the revelation, he checked the Uchiha archives for references to the Uzumaki clan, was shocked to learn of the power of the clan, easily rivaling his own and the Senju, not to mention being distant cousins of both the Uchiha and Senju. The next surprising information about the Uzumaki clan he found was the appearance of random mutations allowing unique Kekkei Genkai to be born, never completely same in two individuals activating the same Kekkei Genkai. To heal the critically injured with just the transfer of chakra, to be able to restrain Biju with chains manifested through chakra and powerful sensory abilities, just to mention a few. Then there were their innate skills with Fuinjutsu, their extreme longevity, and massive chakra reserves. He wondered if Naruto manifested some kind of unique Kekai Genkai. Well, that was not important. What was how he should proceed with his training, even if he had to swallow his pride and accept Naruto's help. With that thought out of the way, Sasuke looked up to see the gate to the Uzumaki estate. A large red spiral, exactly like the one Naruto had on the back of his orange jumpsuit, was engraved into the top of the gates. A small seal was engraved to the side of the gate with the sign, Channel Chakra, under it. Shrugging, Sasuke placed a finger on the seal and channeled a bit of chakra. At first, nothing happened, but after a couple of minutes, the gates opened to reveal Naruto with a massive grin on his face. Good of you to come, team. I hope that you are ready for training. I will tell you now, if you don't have the conviction to see it through, then leave right now, Naruto stated with a serious expression, causing Sasuke to raise an eyebrow in curiosity. He had never seen Naruto like this. Just get on with it, dope. I want to get stronger as soon as possible. Naruto nodded as he walked into the estate with Sasuke following behind him. Naruto led the Uchiha towards the back of the compound, where they found Konohamaru and Sakura sparring, well, more like Sakura trying to beat the young boy into a bloody pulp while the boy kept screaming and dodging to the best of his abilities. Konohamaru, you need to attack as well. Dodging will only save you for so long, Sakura said with a sweet smile that caused a shiver to run down all three boys' spines. Naruto and Sasuke watched as Sakura raised her leg in a vertical split and brought it down on the ground, causing the whole ground to crack and shatter as pieces of rock the size of small boulders flew up into the. Konohamaru did his best to dodge the rocks, only for Sakura to appear in front of him and kick him out of the training ground with a roundhouse kick to the belly. You need to learn to attack even in the face of insurmountable odds, Konohamaru. If you don't, you will never surpass Gigi, Naruto stated, stoically getting a nod from the kid. Now why don't you have a rest while I help Sasuke activate his Sharingan? How will you help me activate my Sharingan? Sasuke asked, intrigued, while Sakura suddenly paled in realization. Naruto ignored Sasuke in favor of whining to Sakura. Did you have to demolish the training ground again? I hate wasting chakra to repair it. Stop whining. With the repairing seals embedded in the bedrock under the training ground, you will have it fixed in a second. Now have fun trying to kill Sasuke while I torment Konohamaru-kun with chakra theory. I finally realize why Irika-sensei likes to teach, Sakura said with a grin, causing Sasuke to pale in realization of what Naruto had planned. He never expected the dobe to be ruthless enough to try to kill a comrade to help them activate their Kekai Genkai. As Sasuke was lost in thought, Naruto channeled chakra into a small pedestal, causing the training ground to glow before it repaired itself. Naruto called out to Sasuke, causing the Uchiha to look at the previously destroyed training ground to see a pristine one. Are you going to keep standing there, or are you going to enter the training ground? I am coming, dobe. Don't get worked up about it, Sasuke said with a grunt as he walked to the center of the training ground. As soon as he got into his taijutsu stance, Naruto pulsed his chakra while going through a set of 10 hand seals before slamming his hands on the ground. A pulse of chakra erupted from the ground before a pale blue translucent barrier encompassed the training ground. There, with that barrier ready, we can go all out. Come at me with the intent to kill, or I can assure you that you will die, Naruto stated as his eyes changed from blue to red with black slits. A golden cloak of chakra formed around him with black sealing lines flowing through the cloak, originating from the navel. Sasuke sweated in fear of the power Naruto was giving off. Before Sasuke could react, Naruto had vanished from in front of him, while at the same time, Sasuke felt an extremely strong kick land on his back, throwing him forward. Is that all you have got, Sasuke? Uchiha Madara was rumored to be able to easily defeat the Kyuubi. Have the Uchiha become this so weak that they can't even handle a single tael's worth of the Kyuubi's power? Naruto taunted before a fist made of chakra erupted from Naruto's back and rammed into Sasuke's chest, causing the Uchiha to gasp as all the air was driven out of his lungs. Outside the barrier, Konohamaru and Sakura watched with wide eyes as for the next half an hour Naruto proceeded to crush Sasuke into the ground. No matter what the Uchiha tried, Naruto had a counter to shut it down. Katan, Gokakyu, a chakra arm dispelled the fire with a single wave. Kunai thrown into vital areas, the chakra cloak repelled them with ease. Straight up taijutsu, Naruto was too fast for Sasuke to land a hit or dodge. To explain in a single word, it was a massacre. How can you control that much power so easily and with the Kyuubi's malice flowing through the chakra? Sasuke asked as he coughed up blood. Because I have complete control over myself, Besides, I have already purified the fox of his hatred. Originally, the hatred used to eat away at my sanity. After coming to terms with my dark side, it was easy to suppress away the darkness within the QB's chakra. Soon after that, I was able to help the fox get over his hatred. If you let your hatred consume you, you will not be any better than beast Kurama had become, or your brother has become. He let his darkness take over his heart. Do not become what you hate, Sasuke. Avenge your clan, but do not throw away everything for vengeance, Naruto said as he conjured a Rasengan and charged at the stunned Sasuke. Naruto, stop, that Rasengan is strong enough to kill him. Sakura screamed from outside the barrier with Konohamaru watching with morbid curiosity. Inside the barrier, Sasuke watched as Naruto ran towards him with the spiraling ball of chakra. He heard Sakura's claim that it would kill him. He just could not bring himself to care. Naruto's recent speech had shaken him up. He realized that he was very close to becoming another Itachi. He was about to accept his fate when a voice that sounded like his brother resounded through his mind. Foolish little brother, you think dying is the answer? Where is the strength of your hate? Didn't you swear that you would avenge our clan? The voice of Itachi said, causing the Uchiha to be flooded with determination to survive. Sasuke watched, as suddenly Naruto's pace seemed to have slowed down. He could see the flow of chakra within the small ball and the chakra coating Naruto's body. Just as Naruto was about to shove the ball into his gut, Sasuke jumped to the side while drawing a kunai and flicking it towards the ball of swirling chakra. He watched with fascination as the kunai struck the ball, causing it to destabilize and explode in Naruto's golden chakra-coated hand before a fist made of the golden chakra struck him in the gut, sending him crashing into the barrier. Groggily, Sasuke stood up, ready for a fight. He saw Naruto dispel the chakra cloak with a grin on his face. Making the ram hand seal, Naruto pulsed his chakra in a definite sequence, causing the barrier to shatter and fade. Aren't we going to continue? We already achieved our objective. Peering to the koi pond. I think you will be ecstatic, well, as ecstatic as an emo can be, Naruto stated to the confusion of the Uchiha. Without anything better to do, Sasuke walked up to the koi pond and peered into the clear waters. To his shock, he saw his reflection stare back at him with red eyes instead of the usual black. Within the left eye were two tomo while the other had one. Sasuke grinned at the revelation. Here he had been trying to activate it for years and Naruto helped him do it on the first day. Foolish little brother, you may have gained the Sharingan, but you still need the Mangekyo to be able to handle me. You don't have the hatred to kill me. Itachi's voice resounded through Sasuke's head again, causing the boy to clench his fists in anger when he remembered Naruto's previous words. No, Itachi, I won't hate. It was not hate that activated my Sharingan, it was help from comrades. You are only trying to make me into another version of yourself. I will kill you to avenge the clan, but I will not obsess and hate you for the darkness that now resides in your heart. Sasuke thought before he stood up from his crouch and walked towards Sakura, who had bandages ready. Chapter 4, Team 7 Rebirth. Naruto and Sakura walked into their former Ninja Academy classroom to see Sasuke was already there, sitting by himself beside the large window. Around the room, the other graduates were sitting with their friends. Ino was sitting with her civilian friends in the middle of the room. Shikamaru, Choji, and Kiba were sitting in the back of the room. Shikamaru sleeping like usual, Choji eating chips, and Kiba was boasting that he would be the best ninja along with Akamaru as his partner to anyone who would listen. Shino and Hinata were sitting on the other side of the room from Sasuke, looking forward with stoic expressions, though in Hinata's case, her eyes showed her nervousness. Around the room, the civilian-born graduates were excitedly whispering about what teams they would end up as members of. Should we sit with Sasuke? Sakura asked in a whisper, only for Naruto to shake his head. I will sit with him. We don't know what would happen if the rest saw you suddenly becoming friendly with him. It is best not to anger the fangirls. Sakura nodded her head as she walked towards the empty seat beside Hinata. When Naruto sat down beside Sasuke, everyone turned to look at him in surprise. None of them had even sensed him come into the room, let alone how he made it across the room without anyone sensing him. Dobe, you ready for team assignments? Sasuke said quietly, but everyone heard him, causing a gasp to escape most of the civilian-born. The clan heirs, on the other hand, watched with a curious gaze. Team, you know I am always ready. How far have you gotten in the tree walking exercise? Naruto asked, getting a shocked look from everyone. Shikamaru raised his head and watched the exchange with a suspicious gaze. I finally made it to the top and can consistently do that now, so according to you, I have mastered the exercise, right? Naruto shook his head. No, you haven't. The only way to truly master it is to be able to fight, while hanging upside down for an hour without losing control for even a moment. We can test how far you are along after team assignments. Sasuke nodded as he said, "Thanks for training me, Naruto, and for your help in awakening my Sharingan." "Don't mention it, Sasuke," Naruto said when Kiba jumped out of his seat and slammed his hands into the desk in front of him. "Why are you helping the team train Naruto? He gets everything handed to him on a silver plate. Moreover, he is a loner, someone who could easily betray us for more power. He is always going on about killing that treacherous brother of his, and you, the great Uchiha elite, how low you have fallen to ask help from the one you considered a dope." Kiba exclaimed in anger, causing Sasuke's eyebrow to twitch in annoyance. He just grunted and looked out of the window. Naruto, on the other hand, was glaring at the boy with annoyance. "Kiba, you are a ninja, learn to keep your thoughts to yourself. Now, why I am training him is simple. The day after the exams, I met Sasuke atop my father's head and told him the reason why I am strong. Sasuke asked me for training? If you asked, I would help you train as well. Next, you have no right to call him a traitor for him wanting to kill his brother. What would you do if a relative of yours slaughtered you, clan? As for calling him treacherous, everyone has the capability to become a traitor. It is what you do with the impulse that makes you, you. Don't call someone a traitor before they have done something to warrant such an accusation." A clapping sound caught everyone's attention as Naruto finished his speech. "Good speech, Naruto, and you, Kiba, mind your tongue. What you said could be considered a slight against a fellow Konoha clan. That carries a hefty price, either monetary or capital depending on who you are insulting. As Sasuke is the last of his clan, he is the clan heir. So insulting Sasuke will lead to you receiving 10 lashes. It is in the Konoha charter to prevent hostilities between clans. Do not test it. You are considered an adult as soon as you put the Hittite on your forehead. You shall be punished as such." Kiba nodded, stunned at what Iruka had said as the scar-faced Chunin walked into the room and sat down at the teacher's desk. "Now I have something to tell all of you. As I said to Kiba, all of you are considered an adult from now on. As such, you are now entitled to all the rights given to an adult citizen of Konoha. As a member of the shinobi forces, all of you are expected to behave with a certain degree of discretion. Insubordination carries a heavy price. Depending on the damage done due to insubordination, you may suffer punishments that may include suspension from the forces, dishonorable discharge, imprisonment, or even execution. I hope that you keep that in mind as you go about your daily duties. Never overstep your authority or question your superiors without proper reason. As shinobi, you now carry the honor of our great village. I hope that all of you shall work hard in keeping the image of the village." Everyone nodded in agreement, even Sasuke, who normally ignores such speeches. Seeing that Iruka stood up with a piece of paper in his hands, "This right here are the team assignments that Hokage-sama has sent to the academy. Now I shall give you all your team assignments, so please keep quiet until I am done." After that, Iruka started reading out the assignments. Naruto ignored most of the assignments until he heard Iruka call out, "Team 7 will be Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, and Uzumaki Naruto." Ino stood up with a confused expression on her face and asked, "Shouldn't it be Namikaze?" Iruka was about to answer when Naruto beat him to it. "Not really. Father was a civilian while Mom was from the Uzumaki clan, the last known member of the clan to be exact. Mom and Dad decided that I should carry the name Uzumaki instead of Namikaze, both to honor my fallen clan. It would also protect me from my dad's enemies, as most would expect his son to carry his name instead of his wife's maiden name." "Ah, now I see," Ino said with a satisfied nod, causing Iruka to shake his head at Ino's habit of gathering gossip before he continued. "Team 8 will be Aburame Shino, Inazuka Kiba, and Hyuga Hinata. Team 9 is still in circulation, so Team 10 will be Nara Shikamaru, Akimichi Choji, and Yamanaka Ino." Iruka placed the sheet of paper on his desk before looking at his class. It seems that his previous speech had a good effect on his former students. "Now I wish you all luck in your careers. I hope that all of you shall make a name for yourself. Now you may leave for lunch. Remember to be back in an hour to meet your Jonin sensei." Iruka was about to leave the classroom when Shikamaru stopped him. "Iruka sensei, I have a question." "Go ahead, Shikamaru. Isn't Team 7 overpowered? I mean, Naruto may be the dobe as he always kept his marks low throughout the academy, but we all know the power he has. Then Sasuke is the rookie of the year and the second best shinobi in the class right after Naruto. Finally is Sakura, who was the top kunoichi even before her own power was revealed. Don't you think it is unfair to the rest of us?" Iruka nodded in understanding before he said with a smile, "I understand you concerns, Shikamaru, but you have to realize that unlike the first 6 teams, the last 3 are specialized ones. Take your own for example. Team 10 is created with the goal of capture, intelligence gathering, and interrogation in mind. Similarly, Team 8 is a team specializing in tracking, capture, and reconnaissance. Team 7 is going to be frontline fighters, heavy support, and asset retrieval from behind enemy lines. That is why they are this powerful. They will not be the ones getting support, they will be the ones providing it. Troublesome. I didn't know that any genin team could have 3 such difficult and dangerous specializations at the same time. Shikamaru said with a groan, getting a chuckle from Irika. They wouldn't have had those specializations if Naruto and Sakura weren't as strong as they are. Naruto is probably strong enough to defeat his Jonin sensei, depending on who his sensei is. Let me tell you something I overheard, Hokage-sama and Jiraiya-sama talking that on his good day, Naruto should be able to defeat either one of them. Gasps filled the room as everyone realized what that meant. At the same time, Naruto and Sakura suppressed a smirk. It seems that Jiraiya had already started his information control with Konoha as the source. Troublesome blonde, couldn't you have kept your abilities hidden for longer? Shikamaru said, only for Naruto to send a mischievous grin at the Nara air, causing him to shiver in fright. He really did not want to know what was going through Naruto's head at this very moment. Every time he had seen that grin, someone had ended up humiliated. He just hoped that it was not directed at him. Now that Shikamaru's curiosity is settled, I wish you luck and behave for your new sensei. I am proud to call you all my students, Irika said before walking out of the room. Soon after, the rest of the class ran out of the room to have a quick lunch before returning to meet their Jonin sensei. Everyone having returned from lunch was sitting with his or her teammates. Naruto and Sakura had forced Sasuke to accompany them to Ichiraku Ramen for a quick lunch before returning to the classroom and commandeering seats in the front of the room in the middle row. After waiting for a couple of minutes, the Jonin sensei started arriving in the classroom and leaving with their teams. Naruto and Sakura did not recognize the Jonin sensei for the first 6 teams, but the final 3 they recognized quite well. Yuhi Kurenai was the first to enter. She was wearing her usual red uniform with bandages wrapped around her torso and thighs. Her hitai proudly sitting on her forehead. After her entered Sarutobi Asuma, wearing the standard Konoha Jonin uniform along with his orange scarf, from his time in the 12 Ninja Guardians, wrapped around his waist. He was, as expected, smoking a cigarette with his eyes glinting with mischief. Finally, Hatake Kakashi entered the room, startling the duo of time-traveling ninja. Kakashi was wearing his usual ANBU-like uniform with his hitai blocking the Sharingan in his right eye. Kurenai walked forward and called out, "Follow me at Training Ground 27 Team 8. Shino, Kiba, Akamaru, and Hinata stood up and followed the woman out of the room. Meet me at Training Ground 36 in an hour, Team 10. Asuma said before he left in a shunshin. The members of Team 10 looked at each other before sighing and running out of the room. Team 7 and Kakashi stared at each other for a few minutes, causing Sasuke to fidget under the scrutinizing gaze of the elite Jonin. Naruto and Sakura stared at the silver-haired Jonin with suspicion before Naruto stood up and asked, "I heard that you have a chronic problem with lateness. How come you are here and on time?" Kakashi turned his scrutinizing gaze upon Naruto before he sighed, "Normally I am, but I didn't think it wise to irritate you, not with how you have humiliated ANBU before. As a former ANBU captain, I always found it funny that you were able to sneak into ANBU HQ and set up your pranks, no matter how they changed the security patrols. Besides, I think I would be doing Sensei a disservice if I didn't teach his son correctly." Naruto nodded in understanding while Sakura had to stifle a giggle at Kakashi's reasons, though she could see where he was coming from. Before, everyone thought that Naruto was an idiot with exceptional luck. Now everyone thinks that the pranks were the byproduct of skill. She could see why Kakashi was cautious. Beside her, Sasuke stared at the Jonin with an arched eyebrow. He could not see why he was so afraid of Naruto's pranks. "Alright, meet me on the roof in 10. Kakashi said just before another Naruto appeared behind him and slammed a Rasengan into his head, causing Kakashi to go up in smoke. "He was a Kage Bunshin?" Sakura asked in surprise. Naruto nodded as the one beside her puffed away in smoke. Sasuke looked up startled at that but decided against saying anything. Sakura just sighed before she stood up and placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder, surprising him, before both puffed away in a cloud of smoke, Naruto following behind his teammates. "Did he have to ram a Rasengan into my clone's head?" Kakashi said to himself when a voice startled him from behind him. "Not really, but where's the fun in poking a clone with a kunai?" Kakashi jumped up, a kunai appearing in his hand, and turned around only to come face to face with the grinning Naruto. "How long have you been here?" Kakashi asked as he thought of how Naruto was able to sneak up on him before dismissing the though, as he realized that when Naruto could easily infiltrate ANBU HQ, then sneaking up on a relaxed ex-ANBU captain should be easy. Naruto shrugged non-committally before he said, long enough to have killed you at least 12 times in 17 different ways. Kakashi shuddered in realization of what Naruto implied as his other two genin appeared in a shunshin. Ah, it seems that your teammates are here. Why don't you all sit down and introduce yourselves? Kakashi said, as he kept alert so that Naruto would not catch him off guard again. He really did not want to fall under the crosshair of a bored Naruto. After the three genin were seated, Sakura asked the obvious question, why don't you go first, sensei? We already know each other, you are the one who is a stranger. Kakashi thought for a moment before he shrugged, alright, the name's Hatake Kakashi. I like many things. Dislikes, I have not many things I dislike, but traitors and those who leave behind their teammates are at the top of that list. My hobbies are not your concern. As for my dream, I don't feel like telling you. The trio of new genin blinked at Kakashi's unique introduction before Kakashi pointed at Sakura and said, you first, Pinky. Sakura glared at the scarecrow-looking jonin before she began her introduction. I am Haruno Sakura. I like my teammates, training, and helping in the hospital. I dislike perverts, traitors, and those who put the mission above their comrades. My hobbies are reading new medical discoveries and learning or creating new Iriajitsu. I dream to become the best Irionin, even greater than Tsunade-sama. Kakashi looked startled at the revelation. He did not think that girl would have such high ambitions, surpassing Tsunade of the Sannin. Now that was one heck of a dream and not an easy one to achieve as well. With a nod, he turned his attention to Naruto. Now you Naruto. The name is Uzumaki Naruto, the future Hokage. I like ramen, training, and protecting those precious to me. I dislike the 5 minutes it takes to cook instant ramen, perverts, traitors, arrogant asses, people who judge without someone getting to know them, and those who harm my precious ones. My hobbies are training, eating ramen, and studying Fuinjutsu. My dream is to break the cycle of hatred in the shinobi world and become the greatest Hokage ever. Kakashi nodded before he asked, who are precious to you, Naruto, your friends, comrades, or the villagers? Friends, comrades, and all those who are too weak to protect themselves, even all the animals in the world. Kakashi, Sakura, and Sasuke stared at the blonde Jinchuriki with surprise and awe. They never thought that Naruto could be this selfless. Then again, Sakura and Kakashi justified his statement with the belief that it came from his position as a sage. That's good of you, Naruto, never let the world darken your golden heart, now you dock butt. Kakashi said with an eye smile, causing Sasuke to glare at the jonin with his newly awakened Sharingan. Kakashi looked up in surprise but waited for Sasuke to introduce himself. Uchiha Sasuke. I have very few things I like. I dislike many things, with traitors being at the top of the list. My hobby is training. My dreams are to become the most reliable teammate, revive my clan, and if possible, avenge them by killing Itachi. Sasuke said, but not with the usual venom and anger. Kakashi watched the boy with his single eye only to see that instead of the usual tense posture, the Uchiha survivor was relaxed for once. Even the arrogance that usually permeates the air around the boy was thinner. Then there was the boy's declaration of dreaming to become a reliable teammate. Kakashi did not know if Sasuke still had the same Avenger mentality his profile warned about, but made a mental note to watch the boy as his present presence was different to that of an Avenger. Nodding to himself, Kakashi smiled and said, when did you activate your Sharingan? Your profile didn't say anything about it. Sasuke looked up in surprise before he looked at Naruto and said with a hint of gratitude, Naruto helped me activate it a couple of days back. Kakashi sat up straighter and looked at his team with surprise. He did not think that Naruto would be able to get through to the Uchiha enough make him rethink his ways. He expected Sasuke to be an Avenger with a very high flight risk. Now he was not so sure. Alright then, you three meet me at Training Ground 7 in an hour for your final test. You will be sparring against an older genin team in a team versus team matchup. I will meet you there with the team and their sensei. If you fail the test, I will have to disband your team and end you back to the academy. If any of you fail, only you will be sent back. The actual objective of the exam will be hidden, so you will have to figure out how to pass on your own. Kakashi said and waited for the expected outburst. When the outburst did not come, he stared at his team to see all three staring right back at him with determination. Anyway, tomorrow Naruto will be tested by a team of 4 jonin that includes me at the Chunin exam stadium. Both of you have to be present. Whether you pass or fail, attendance is compulsory. Alright, sensei, Sakura said as Sasuke just nodded with a grunt. Kakashi nodded before he vanished in a shunshin. His team stared at the place previously occupied by the Jonin before they all stood. I think the hidden objective will be teamwork. Do not try to do things on your own. That means you, Sasuke. Naruto said, only for Sasuke to give an irritated grunt, but nodded all the same. Naruto placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder before the two of them vanished in a puff of smoke, with Sakura following. Come, my youthful students, show more enthusiasm. Look at Lee Yen. A green spandex clan Jonin exclaimed to his two other students as his final student, also clad in similar green spandex, ran around the clearing at extreme speeds. The other two just glared at their sensei as they jogged around training ground, heavily panting. Unlike their crazy teammate and sensei, they did not have the stamina to complete such insane training as easily as the other two do. As the three genin went about their stamina training, Kakashi appeared beside their sensei in a puff of smoke. Without even turning around, Guy said, "Good morning, Kakashi. What are you doing here? Don't you have a youthful team to test?" Kakashi nodded as he took out an orange book and started skimming through it for a couple of moments before replying, "I do, but instead of giving them the bell test, I decided to see if you and your team would be willing to help in testing them." "So, will you?" Guy hummed before he asked. "This is most unusual of you, Kakashi. Is it wise to test the teamwork of Green Genin with Season 1s? Normally I wouldn't, but my team contains Uchiha Sasuke, Haruno Sakura, and Uzumaki Naruto. From their introductions, I can easily see Sakura and Naruto working together. They may even convince Sasuke to work with them. All of know that Sasuke only respects strength, so the bell test would be moot against them. They are assured to pass." Guy nodded in understanding before he asked, "So, why not still give them the bell test? I do not see why you want to put them up against seasoned genin. My team may have great teamwork, but Naruto-kun would easily destroy all of them in a moment. Then there's Haruno Sakura, the youngest person to gain full Iranen certification, not to mention battlefield certification. We do not know what skills she is hiding, especially after training with Naruto-kun. Then there is the last Uchiha. We all know that after Naruto-kun and Sakura-chan, he is probably the strongest genin of their year. I would not be surprised if he already has the Sharingan. So tell me, what use is this exam?" Kakashi hummed as he turned a page before he said, "I want to see how well they work against another team. Together, I am sure that they can take down Jonin already. I want to see how they fare against another team." Guy nodded in understanding before he jumped down from the tree branch he was observing his team from. Landing in the middle of the clearing, he shouted out, "All right, my youthful genin, that is enough for now. A fellow Jonin has requested our help to test his new genin team. So please rest up. You will be pitted against the other team in a team death match. We will meet the new team in Kakashi, where and when are we to meet the team?" "Huh. Didn't I tell you? Oh well, meet my team and me at Training Ground 7 in an hour." "Ja-ni," Kakashi said as he vanished in a puff of smoke. "Huh. Akage Bunshin, he did not even have the decency to come to me in person. Curse you and your hip attitude, Kakashi," Guy exclaimed quietly when Niji approached him. "Why do we have to test the Green Genin team? They don't stand a chance, fate has declared it," Niji asked with a frown, causing his female teammate Tenten and Lee to frown in return. Guy adopted a serious expression as he said, "Don't underestimate anyone, Niji. That may be the last thing you will do. I again advise that you curb your arrogance. Now as to why we are helping test this team, as the usual test is ineffective for this team. Two of its members are close friends and have good teamwork. They alone took down a Chunin-level traitor last week, the very night they graduated, in the process saving another Chunin's life. Then each member's individual skills are higher than most seasoned genin have. If they pass, I can assure you that they will be taking the next Chunin exams that is scheduled to happen in Konoha. The one I am planning to nominate you for if you show that you have matured more. Got it?" "Yes, Guy-sensei," Niji said with confusion. He had not ever seen his sensei this serious before. "Now I must warn you, each member of this team is dangerous in their own right. The first member to be wary of is Uchiha Sasuke. If he has the Sharingan, then it is imperative that you Niji quickly take him down. Next, the girl, Haruno Sakura, is the youngest fully certified Irainen. Do not let her get too close. She can easily disable any of you with a single swipe of her hands and the Chakura no Mezu technique. Tenten, you will make sure that she cannot get too close to Lee or Niji. Finally, there is Uzumaki Naruto. Do not let his age fool you. He is the most dangerous in the team. There are rumors flying about that he should be able to defeat Jiraiya-sama no Densetsu no Sannin or even Hokage-sama," Guy said as his genin's eyes widened in shock. "Don't let him stand around for too long. From what I heard, If he gets enough time to activate Sannin Modo or even tap into the Kyuubi's chakra, then all of you are finished. Niji, I want you and Lee to concentrate on him as much as you can while Tenten keeps his teammates off your backs. Lee, I order you to leave behind your weights behind, and if required, you have my permission to use that. Lee's eyes widened in shock but nodded in realization of what kind of opponent Naruto was. YOSH. I never thought you would give me permission to use that. Naruto-kun must be very youthful if you are asking us to take such precautions. If I fail, then I shall run around Konoha 100 times, on my hands carrying a massive boulder. If I can't do that, then I shall climb the Hokage mountain using my teeth. And if I can't do... Lee was cut off as a massive mace crashed into his head. Alright already, we get it. Just rest and save you energy for the match, Tenten said with an angry frown with Niji glaring at his teammate. Team 7 was waiting in Training Ground 7 for their sensei, and the other genin team he was bringing with him. As they waited, Naruto was reading his book on beginner's Fuinjutsu. Beside him, Sakura was leaning against a tree pursuing through an advanced medical scroll detailing the theory behind using Suetun chakra affinity in healing. Sasuke was sitting on the ground reading one of his clan scrolls on the Sharingan. As they waited, Naruto suddenly perked up and said, "So where's the other team's sensei?" Ma, don't be a spoil sport. Just because you are the best sensor in Konoha does not mean that you should ruin my fun. Here I was hoping to test the other's skills in observation, and you ruin it. Kakashi whined only for Sakura to snort and say, "No, you were just going to stay there and wait until Sasuke asked where you are before revealing yourself while also scaring the pants off him. I see that you didn't include yourself in there. May I ask why?" Kakashi asked, his a curious gleam in his lone visible eye getting a giggle from Sakura. "I sense you the moment you entered the clearing. Naruto sensed you the moment you decided to head here. The only one with weaker sensory abilities now is Sasuke, but that will be quickly remedied with a bit of experience under his belt." Sasuke looked surprised at how clinically she stated that without even looking at him. "They are here," Naruto said, surprising the rest before their team rushed into the clearing behind Guy. "Yo. Looks like you made it," Kakashi said with a grin as he jumped down from the tree and landed beside his team. "Team, this is Team Guy under Elite Jonin Mato Guy. They shall be your opponents during this exam. Guy and I will be observing you. If I am not mistaken, Guy has given them information on you. You will be going in blind, with no knowledge of their abilities. The objective of the test is do as well as you can against the seasoned team. Understand?" "Hi Sensei." His team chorused before they put away the scroll and book in Naruto's case before walking forward to greet the team. "Know this, you are fated to lose to us," Niji said before anyone could even say something, causing his teammates and Sensei to frown. Sasuke seethed in anger while Naruto and Sakura stared at the Hyuga boy with cold eyes, causing a shiver to run down his spine. "Fate isn't predetermined. We make our own fate," Naruto gritted out in anger. He did not remember Niji being this arrogant before. Last time Niji did not know his heritage and status, so he could let Niji's arrogance slide at the time. This time, Niji should have reacted more cautiously to his very presence. Niji glared at Naruto and was about to say something when Kakashi intervened. "Alright, let me explain the exam. Team 9, your job is to try and defeat Team 7. Use every skill you have as long as it is non-lethal. Team 7, you do the same. There is a hidden portion to the test, let us see if you can discover what it is. You have 2 hours to complete the test. If Guy or I see that any of you are in danger, we will intervene, now Hajime," Kakashi said as he and Guy vanished from the clearing and reappeared on a tree branch near the edge of the clearing. Team 7 and Team 9 watched each other carefully for a few minutes before Sasuke finally lost his patience and charged at Niji with his Sharingan blazing. Seeing this, Niji ran forward to intercept the Uchiha only to jump away from Sakura, who smashed her fist into the ground where he was previously. A booming sound filled the training ground before a crater 5 feet wide formed under Sakura's fist. Guy, Kakashi, Sasuke, and Team Guy watched in shock at the power the slender girl displayed. Team Guy regrouped and cautiously observed Team 7, who had regrouped as well. "I didn't think that the girl would be this dangerous. I know that an accomplished Shiraiyanin is someone to be wary of, but this monstrous strength. It reminds me of the stories of Tsunade-sama," Tenten said with an uncertain tone. Niji and Lee nodded in understanding. "Lee, you go after the blonde," Guy-sensei said, not to give him time to prepare anything. "I will quickly handle the Uchiha while Tenten keeps the girl busy," Niji said, and without even waiting for confirmation, Niji charged at Sasuke knowing that his team would back him up. Lee did not waste any time and charged at Naruto, who was standing with his eyes closed. Sakura was about to intervene when she jumped away from the kunai Tenten threw with pinpoint accuracy. Seeing that she would be unable to help her teammates until Tenten was defeated, Sakura charged at the bun-haired girl with surprising grace and speed, dodging any kunai and shuriken she could while batting away others with the kunai in her hands. Meanwhile, Niji engaged Sasuke in a one-on-one taijutsu spar, trying to seal off Sasuke's tenketsu, only for the uchiha to dodge at the last moment and counterattack that Niji barely dodged due to his Byakugan. I must say, for a greenhorn, you are good, as expected of one from such an exalted clan. Sasuke did not show any reaction. Instead, he jumped back and formed a couple of hand seals before bringing his hands to his mouth, calling out, "Katan, Gokaki no Jutsu." Niji watched as a massive ball of fire flew out of Sasuke's mouth and rushed towards him. Seeing that he would not be able to dodge in time, he sighed before spinning in place, causing a dome of blue chakra to form around him. As the fireball collided with the swirling dome of chakra, it dissipated into nothing, causing Sasuke to stare in shock. At the same time, Lee tried to kick Naruto, who had his eyes closed, only for the blonde Jinchuriki to dodge without effort. Seeing his initial attack had been thwarted, Lee started a quick combo of heavy kicks and punches with a couple of feints thrown in. To the spandex-clad boy's frustration, Naruto seemed to be able to easily dodge or redirect everything he threw at him. I must say, I didn't think that Sakura-chan was this skilled. Most Irionen are usually dead weight, only useful in healing teammates and distractions. Kakashi hummed in response as he watched Niji surround himself in a dome of swirling chakra to protect himself from the fireballs Sasuke threw at him. So are you students? It is nearly unheard of a branch member of the Hyuga clan to use learned Hakusho. Then the kunoichi is a great markswoman. Such accuracy is hard to come by outside elite ANBE units. Then there is your apprentice. Lee, was it? He is far ahead in taijutsu in comparison to his peers. You have trained them well, Guy. Guy nodded appreciatively as he carefully observed Naruto dodging everything Lee threw at him with his eyes closed. It was a bit disconcerting for the taijutsu master to see someone that good. Well, Naruto-kun is living up to expectations and surpassing them. I can see why he is the face of Konoha for this generation. Sasuke-kun isn't that bad either. Guy observed as he watched Sasuke use a quick kawarimi to dodge a strike to his heart before retaliating with a katan, Hozenka no Jutsu. Multiple small ball of fire fired out erratically from Sasuke's mouth and flew towards Niji, who just smashed forward a palm, calling out, "Hakusho!" Niji smirked as the wave of vacuum left his palm and easily snuffed out the flames, only to be shocked when he saw that shuriken were hidden in the fireballs. Barely dodging the shuriken, he was unable to react when Sasuke bound him in ninja wire. Grinning, Sasuke placed the wires in his mouth as he formed hand seals for his next jutsu. Niji watched with frustration as Sasuke called out, "Katan, Ryuka no Jutsu." A wave of fire ran down the wire and collided the Hyuga prodigy before exploding. Sasuke grinned for a moment before he saw that only charred remains of a log instead of Niji. Before he could react, Niji appeared in front of him with a foul expression on his face. "We Hyuga don't like using jutsu that aren't clan ones. You have forced me to use one to save myself, so you must pay for sullying my clan honor. You are in my field of divination, Hakusenjuni Sho." Sasuke watched helplessly as Niji proceeded to ram his chakra-coated fingers on his tenketsu without remorse. "And I Sho!" Niji called out, striking 2 times. "Yan Sho. Hachi Sho. Jiroku Sho. Sanjuni Sho." As Niji landed the final set of strikes, Sasuke was thrown back, catching Naruto and Sakura's attention. Niji was heavily panting from the exertion and the amount of chakra he had already used up. "You alright, Niji?" Tenten asked, only for the Hyuga prodigy to ignore his teammate's concern. Turning his attention to the downed Uchiha, he said arrogantly, "Give you. As I said, fate had already declared my team the winner. I have sealed your tenketsu. Now you are as powerless as a civilian is. Without you, your team will lose. All of you should just give up now." Niji expected the other to give up right there, but he gaped when Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke started laughing. Lee and Tenten appeared beside the tired Niji with confused looks in their faces. Niji started getting angry when Sasuke spoke up. "You think temporarily disabling me has put my team in a disadvantageous position? You are more blind than I thought. You call yourself a member of the clan with the all-seeing eyes, but I say that your clan is blind. If he wanted, Naruto could have finished the fight in the first few moments. The dead last, don't kid yourself. The only reason he is so highly thought of is for who his father is. Konoha is known for favoritism. The main branch is always shown favoritism." Niji spat in anger, everyone to frown at Niji's anger but decided to let Sasuke handle it. Sasuke sighed before he said, until recently I was obsessed with power for revenge. I can see you walking down the same path I recently left. If you let that anger fester, I will not be surprised if you end up a nuke. As for Naruto being respected for his father's accomplishments, I cannot refute that claim among the civilian populace, but amongst the shinobi, I can guarantee that most respect him for his prowess. Let me tell you, when Naruto first started training me, I used all of my power and then some to try to defeat him. I failed. He was faster, stronger, and most of all brutal. He did not let up even when I was on my last legs, forcing me to activate my Sharingan to save myself. Even then, if he did not stop at the right moment, I can guarantee that I would be in the hospital still recovering. The sad thing was that I know he did not even use a quarter of his true power. Now do you still think you would win if he was serious? Tenten, Lee, Guy, and Kakashi gaped in shock at the revelation while Neji just sneered, "Your words won't affect me. For all I know this must be a plan your team came up with to psych us." Sasuke just shrugged and shakily stood up. Neji was about to attack Sasuke again when Naruto appeared in front the Uchiha along with Sakura, a frown marring his face. Sasuke is right, you are blind if you can't tell the difference in chakra levels between my team and yours. Sasuke has just as much chakra as you. Sakura has enough to put most Jonin to shame. Me, even without Kurama, I have more chakra than Jiraiya and the Sandaime combined. I do not know how good your Byakugan is, but I believe that it can see the flow of chakra within us. The smoothness of the flow is directly dependent upon our control. Sakura has the smoothest flow in the whole of Konoha. I can even dare to say that she has perfect control. How do you know that? Neji sneered as he concentrated in observing what Naruto said. To his surprise, he found the word of the blonde Jinchuriki was true, though he would not admit that. My senjutsu allows me unparalleled sensory abilities to the point I can even sense the chakra affinities, health, and emotions of someone. If you do not believe me, you can ask Hayashi Dano, Naruto said with a smirk before he nodded to Sakura, who grinned in response. Naruto was engulfed into a cloak of yellow chakra with black lines flowing throughout the cloak. Neji, Lee, Tenten, Guy, and Kakashi watched in awe at the power radiating from Naruto. Naruto placed a hand on Sakura's shoulder, causing a tailless cloak of bubbling red chakra to engulf the girl. Both grinned as Naruto said, "Have fun, Sakura, make sure to not accidentally kill them." Before Team 9 could react, Sakura charged forward at greater speeds than before, catching them by surprise. At the same time, Naruto placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder, causing a pulse of chakra to flow through the Uchiha's body, forcefully reopening the closed tenketsu before a bubbling cloak of red chakra formed around him. "Please don't tell me he did what I think he did?" Kakashi whined, causing Guy to smirk. "If you mean sharing the Kyuubi's chakra with his team, then he did. I wonder what that will change," Guy said as he watched the wounds on Sasuke's body give off steam before sealing up without leaving behind a single scar. Kakashi and Guy watched in shock at that revelation. Everyone speculated that the Kyuubi used to increase Naruto's healing ability, now they had proof. "My god, look how powerful Sakura-chan has become now," Kakashi said as he watched with a wide-open eye at the massacre Sakura was performing. All around the field, there were craters as large as 12 feet wide. Tenten and Neji were panting while Lee had sweat dripping down his face. "Lee, use it! If you don't, you will lose," Guy said with a serious expression, causing Kakashi to look at him in shock. "You didn't teach him Ten Hashimen Tanko no Jin, did you?" Kakashi asked, only for Guy to nod. "How many can he open?" "3, but they should be enough to change the tides a bit," Guy exclaimed as he watched Lee scream out before a massive wave of invisible chakra caught everyone's attention. Lee's hair had risen into the air, flowing in an unseen breeze. "Lee, are you alright?" Tenten asked as Neji watched with curiosity as their teammate screamed in what seemed pain before a massive wave of invisible chakra erupted from him. "Kaimon Kai!" Lee intoned before he vanished from beside his teammates and reappeared behind Sakura, catching her off guard. She did not expect Lee to be able to open the inner gates this soon. Before she could dodge, Lee called out, "Konoha Kagebayo," and kicked her into the air. Jumping after her, Lee flipped himself as he unwrapped the medical bindings around his arms and quickly wrapped them chakra before started rapidly spinning with the girl in his grasp. "Omote wrench!" Lee called out just before he and Sakura was about to hit the ground as he let go and jumped back. Sakura crashed into the ground, head first. Massive booming sound filled the clearing as a large cloud of smoke covered the area Sakura crash-landed. "Lee, you weren't supposed to gravely injure the girl. I wanted you to attack Naruto-kun. A normal human will be gravely injured from this," Guy scolded as Lee looked down when a clapping sound emerged from the cloud of dust. Everyone intently stared into the cloud of dust, waiting to see who was making the sound, though Guy suspected that Sakura was not as injured as he feared. That was very good, Lee. If the chakra cloak did not protect me, I would have suffered grave injuries. You truly are a great taijutsu specialist. Everyone, other than Naruto, watched with shock as a small shockwave of chakra blew away the dust cloud, revealing Sakura, completely unharmed, the bubbling cloak of chakra floating about around her. Lee gaped at the sight. He could not believe that someone could come out of the Omote Range unharmed. How? How what? How did the flimsy-looking cloak protect me? Lee nodded, causing Naruto to chuckle. The potency of the chakra is so high that it can act as a solid barrier against a finite amount of force. Your technique does not have the strength to pierce it, Naruto said, causing Lee to nod in realization. Yash, that is truly a youthful defense that you share with your teammates, Naruto-kun. Now I will show you the power to pierce that cloak, Lee said as he screamed out again. A green aura formed around him as two strands of smoky blue swirled around him. His skin turned red as his hair flew up. Kumon Kai! Simon Kai! Sasuke, get up on that tree and rest. Let me and Sakura finish it, Naruto exclaimed before he vanished from his place and reappeared in front of Lee, intercepting the taijutsu specialist's kick with one of his own. A shockwave erupted from the contact, causing strong winds to blow about the field. Soon, the field was filled with shockwaves as Naruto kept intercepting all of Lee's strikes with his own. Sasuke appeared beside Guy and Kakashi, as the two sensei observed the battle going on below. Kakashi did not divert his eye from the battle below, but asked, "What are you doing here, Sasuke?" Naruto asked me to climb a tree and rest. That is what I am doing. I have already used a lot of chakra. This chakra cloak has not replenished my stores. Kakashi nodded as he patted his student on the shoulder. Besides, if I go down there now, I would only hinder them. Tenten and Neji were trying to take down Sakura, but whatever they tried, Sakura easily countered. Kunai and Shuriken, the cloak intercepted them. Juken strikes, none of the chakra needles were able to pierce the cloak. On the other hand, Sakura was easily able to strike at them, though she did not use the monstrous strength directly against them, for which they were grateful. Lee and Naruto are ripping up the field, Neji said as he tried to observe the fight, only to catch only glimpses of the fight. Both fighters were moving at a speed he was not fully able to perceive. At that very moment, he realized that even Lee was stronger than he was. That realization shook him to the core. The dobe who could not use chakra was stronger than he was. That was a bitter pill to swallow. Sakura saw that Neji was distracted and capitalized on it. Ramming her leg into the ground, she lifted out a large chunk of earth into the air. Neji and Tenten watched in shock as Sakura then proceeded to kick the chunk of earth towards them, the kick shattering the chunk into smaller, sharper shards that peppered them. Before they could react, Lee crashed into them with Naruto appearing beside his teammate and nodded at her. The pink-haired medic grinned before black ceiling lines formed around her face and down her neck. Jumping up, a massive amount of chakra gathered in her fist. Naruto did not waste any time and rushed out of there, reappearing beside Sasuke and watched as Team 9 groaned as they tried to stand up. Neji was the first one up. Using his Byakugan, he saw Sakura in the air with a massive amount of chakra gathered in her fist. His eyes widened in horror as Sakura landed and crashed her fist into the ground. A massive booming sound and a shockwave erupted from point of impact before the whole field broke up. Chunk of earth and rock flew into the air, taking Team 9 with them. Crash landing on the now broken ground, Team 9 groaned out in pain. Lee tried to stand up before he collapsed, spasms running down his body as his skin returned to their original tone. Beside him, Tenten did not even try to stand up, grumbling about a monster genin who was as strong as a Sannin. Neji just stared into the sky with a disheartened look. He could not believe that he and his team lost. Alright everyone, exam finished. First, let Guy and I congratulate you on officially becoming Genin team, even if you three have shown qualities and powers reminiscent of a Chunin at least and Jonin in case of Naruto. Now we will give you 6 a performance report. Guy walked forward and said, Neji, you let your arrogance blind you to the truth again. You need to get that under control. Tenten, you start panicking whenever your opponent dodges your weapons or comes in too close for ranged combat. You need to practice your hand-to-hand combat skills more. Lee, you have outdone yourself. Now you just need to train harder and get used to the strain of the initial 3 gates. Just keep up the good work. YOSH, thank you GI-sensei, Lee exclaimed in excitement with Tenten nodding. Neji just kept staring at the sky. Now Team 7, Sasuke, you need to work on your stamina and increase your jutsu arsenal. Other than that, I saw that you did not use the Sharingan's intrinsic genjutsu abilities. I will help you in training that. In addition, you need to increase your speed and reaction time. Sakura, you have thrown all my expectations out of the window, then set them alight with an S-rank fire jutsu. I must ask, what is that seal you used? Sakura stumbled at that, but before she could say anything, Naruto interjected, that is a simple Uzumaki clan fuin jutsu that allows the storage of large amounts chakra to be stored and used later. I gave it to her a couple of days back and helped her charge it up with a tael worth of Mai and Kurama's chakra. Kakashi just gaped at the revelation, while Tenten had stars in her eyes. Why do you do this to me, Naruto? Kakashi whined while Naruto grinned. I don't know what you mean, sensei. Anyway, Tenten, I saw that you use quite a bit of fuinjutsu. How about you help me understand the books my mother and father wrote, and I will allow you access to the Uzumaki clan fuinjutsu style. It would be my honor. Thank you for offering to share your clan techniques with me, Naruto-sama, Tenten said with formal bow. Then meet me at Ichiraku Ramen a week from now during lunch. I need to catalog all the fuinjutsu scrolls I have in the library before we start. Tenten nodded again in gratitude. Anyways, Naruto. What am I going to do with you? I cannot even get a proper read on you yet. So I will wait till your evaluation tomorrow before I decide on what to teach you. Kakashi exclaimed with annoyance. Yash, before Kakashi has a mental breakdown, Team 9, you will meet me at the Chunin exam stadium at 10 in the morning tomorrow without fail. His team nodded before Niji finally broke through his depressing thoughts and asked, but why Gai-sensei? Naruto-kun is to be evaluated by a team of Jonin and ANBU. Hokage-sama has ordered all free shinobi to attend. I heard that even a few of the daimyos of the neighboring countries would attend along with our own daimyo. Team 9 looked at the blonde Jinchuriki in shock. They could not believe that a team of Jonin and ANBU will evaluate a fresh genin. Yash, I can't wait for the youthful show Naruto-kun will put on for us. Naruto-kun, know this, I will be rooting for you. Ah. Thank you, Lee. Now my youthful genin, head to the hospital and have medical checkups. I do not want any of you suffering from undetectable internal injuries. Guy's team nodded and made to leave the field when Naruto commented, see Niji, there is no such thing as fate. We make our own fates. Just look at Lee and Sakura, two civilians, yet they are both very strong. Niji huffed before he led his team away from Training Ground 7 and Team 7. Team 7, Kakashi, and Guy watched them leave with Naruto and Guy frowning at Niji's behavior. You need to pull that stick out of his ass, Guy-sensei, or he will end up in a very sticky situation. Guy nodded with a sigh. I have been trying for a year now, Naruto-kun, but I think that now I have a better chance now. You and your team along with Lee-kun have shaken him. I just hope that he listens to us instead of turning deaf. Don't worry, Guy-sensei, if he gets out of line, just call me. I will pull that stick out of his ass, Naruto said with a fox-like grin causing a smile to form on Guy's face. Thank you for the offer, Naruto-kun. Kakashi smiled behind his mask and said, you three have the day off now. As you know, meet me at the Chunin exam stadium at 10 tomorrow. Before you leave, I have one last thing to say. Those who break the rules are scum, but those who abandon their comrades are worse than scum. Remember that, engrave it in your hearts. It shall guide you down the right path. Now you can leave. Team 7 nodded before Sakura made the tiger hand seal and absorbed the chakra cloak into the diamond seal on her forehead. Kakashi and Guy looked surprised but ignored it as Naruto placed a hand on Sasuke's shoulder, causing the chakra cloak to dissipate before both the boys vanished in a swirl of leaves with Sakura following behind. They are some genin, Kakashi. I have no doubt that they will become legends just like the Sannin. Kakashi nodded in pleasure before he looked around the field. After a moment of silence, Kakashi turned to Guy. Guy, I will leave you to explain the situation with the field to Hokage-sama. Before Guy could even react, Kakashi vanished in a swirl of leaves, leaving behind a gaping Guy. Chapter 5, The Test. All the ninja, who did not have any major prior assignments, were trickling into the Konoha Chunin exam stadium. Many prominent daimyo of the neighboring countries were here as well, sitting with their most trusted advisors and bodyguards, the fire daimyo being most prominent with his elaborate headdress with the red fire patterns and pristine white robes. The wind daimyo sitting near the fire daimyo within his violet robes and headdress. Around the stadium, many ninja from small foreign countries that was either allied or neutral with Konoha were sitting with teams of A and BU keeping an eye on them. Around them, the seats were filled with civilians. The Hokage was sitting at the Kage box with two other people. He was wearing the traditional Kage robe with the diamond-shaped hat. Beside him was another man wearing similar robes with the kanji for wind on his green diamond-shaped hat, his face hidden by veil. The final occupant was a large man with dark skin and pale blonde hair. He was also wearing the traditional kage robes with a yellow hat carrying the kanji for lightning. These three were Sandame Hokage, Yandame Kazekage, and the Yandame Reikage, their names, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Kazekage Raza, and three of the most powerful men in the world. May I ask why you invited here Hokage-dano? I asked with confusion as Raza nodded in agreement. Yes, why have you invited up to attend a testing of one of you shinobi? If I am not mistaken, a genin as well. Why would a genin require a team of jonin and anbu to test him? Raza asked with thinly veiled irritation. That is because he isn't an ordinary genin. He embodies what it truly means to be a shinobi. Even I did not have an inkling to the depth of his abilities until he defeated a Chunin traitor with his friend. From what I have gathered by interviewing them, both of them have been hiding their skill. I thought you two would be interested in him due to his heritage and status. So I decided to invite you. Hiruzen said, though he knew that both his fellow Kage did not really believe him, not that he would believe himself. The excuse was a bit weak. What heritage would that be, Hokage-dano? I asked with curiosity. I believe that you would easily be able to connect the dots when he arrives in arena. He does look like a carbon copy of his father with his mother's mannerism. Hiruzen said with a secretive smile that aroused ES curiosity even more. And his status, does it pertain to his heritage? Raza asked, equally intrigued. Hiruzen shook his head. Not really, though it is an indirect result to his heritage. Seeing the questioning looks of his fellow Kage, Hiruzen decided to throw them a bone. He is the Kyuubi Jinchuriki. Somehow, he was able to become a perfect Jinchuriki and befriend the beast within him. With wide eyes I asked, how is that possible? How old is he? The better question is, how did he do it without rampaging or alerting the whole of Konoha? Raza asked, looking shaken by the revelation. Here, his son has failed even with help, and someone else did what he wanted his son to achieve without help. That seemed preposterous, but he doubted that the Hokage was pulling his leg. He and his friend used to sneak in and out of Konoha without the ANBU catching them. I am not surprised. Naruto-kun is known to be able to sneak into ANBU HQ, prank the whole corps, and get out unharmed. His stealth is phenomenal. That should have been the first signs, but he acted like an idiot. That mask has kept unwanted attention away from him until he was ready to reveal himself. He seems to be a fine shinobi. A true demon of the shadows, something all of us have forgotten how to be. Raza said with a stoic face. Inwardly he was cringing. He was afraid that the Wind Daimyo would now redirect more missions to Konoha, and the Otokage's offer seemed like a suicide now. That is if the child was as powerful as he suspected. Raza realized that this was a power play. Hiruzen was making a statement, and was using them and the daimyo to attest his claims. A loud cheer from the Konoha ninja filling the stadium drew the three Kage's attention. Staring down into the arena, they saw the Genjutsu mistress, Yuhi Kurenai, appear along with Sharingan no Kakashi, Mado Gai, Sarutobi Asuma, and two ANB with the cat masks, one a woman and the other a man. Finally, Konoha's snake mistress, Mitarashi Anko, appeared eating a stick of dango. Seeing that the testers had already arrived and knowing that Naruto would be making a grand entrance, Hiruzen stood up. Activating a small seal, Hiruzen started to speak. Thank you all for coming to this evaluation of Uzumaki Naruto's abilities. Now many of you would be wondering why I am making such a big event out of such a common test. To answer that, I must reveal something that I have kept secret for 12 years. I know that the traveling merchants are spreading around many rumors for the last week. Those of you who were not here when I made the announcement, I will now confirm or disapprove of those rumors. Hiruzen stopped and looked around to see that he had everyone's complete attention. Nodding to himself, the aged Hokage took a deep breath and started speaking again. Everyone knows that the Kyuubi no Yoko attacked Konoha on the 10th of October, 12 years ago. Officially, my successor, Namake's Minato, had sacrificed his life to kill the great beast. That was a cover-up. No mortal can kill a Biju permanently. They will reform a certain number of years later. The only way to defeat a Biju completely is to seal it into a person. Depending on the seal used, it may require a newborn baby or even adults. I see that realization is dawning on you all. That is right, Minato sealed the beast into a child, his own newborn son in fact. Hiruzen stopped talking and smirked at seeing the shocked expression on Ie's face. Seeing the questioning look the dark-skinned man was giving him, Hiruzen nodded before he addressed the crowd again. Uzumaki Naruto is that child. The Sandame Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi after his own mother, the Nidame Jinchuriki Uzumaki Kushina, and the Shodame Jinchuriki, Senjumito, the wife of the Shodai Hokage and Naruto's great-aunt. Now I would like to tell you that we are not testing him for his heritage or status as a Jinchuriki. No, we are testing him for his own prowess he achieved without help or even alerting anyone. On his own, he has become a perfect Jinchuriki with a great bond with the beast sealed within him to the point they can work together without conflict. I know what all of you are thinking. How can a dumb beast hell-bent on causing destruction and mayhem can work with its jailer? The truth is that the Biju are sentient beings capable of feeling emotions and making rational decisions, or so Naruto-kun tells me. Hiruzen waited quietly for that information to seep in before continuing. However, that is not his greatest achievement yet. It is he becoming a master sage that makes me test him. Normally, to become a sage, one needs the guidance of a master sage from one of the animal summoning clans. Naruto-kun recreated the toad-style senjutsu by watching a small toad summon fighting against a snake summoned somewhere in Training Ground 44. As of now, the great toad sage of Myobokuzen has taken him on as an apprentice. An honor that has not been bestowed on any human since Gamamaru-sama trained the Rakudo Sennin, as he had admitted. Normally the great sage remains in a trance watching the world but not interfering. My own summons respects the great toad sage, advising me to listen to any advice he gives. Now I have bored all of you long enough. Please welcome Uzumaki Naruto, son of the Yondaime Hokage and the Akai Chishio no Habanero. Everyone was stunned when he abruptly announced that. Looking around, they did not see anyone. Only a small column of swirling dust to form in the center of the arena before it grew into a large and powerful tornado. Everyone watched in awe as the tornado remained in place, blowing dust and winds before imploding upon itself before dissipating, revealing Naruto kneeling on the ground with a fist supporting him. As he slowly stood up, everyone saw that he was wearing the ANBU-style uniform that Jiraiya gave him with the burnt orange flak jacket having the zip undone revealing the mesh undershirt. His red haori with the yellow lightning embroidery was fluttering about in an unseen wind. His Konoha Hittite was wrapped around his waist while the new Hittite with the kanji for Biju and Sennin engravings was proudly tied around his forehead. Everyone saw that he had attached multiple equipment pouches on his legs and a sealing kit on his hip. His messy blonde hair was also fluttering about in the unseen wind. Everyone stared in shock at the boy's sudden appearance. No one had ever seen a jutsu like the one Naruto used when he arrived. Raza was the first to snap out of his shock. What was that jutsu? I didn't even know that futon could be used in such a way. Hiruzen chuckled, but before he could answer asked, he used Nishu, didn't he? Hiruzen looked at the Raikage in shock. How did you learn of Nishu? I only heard of it when Gamamaru-sama told us while testing Naruto-kun a couple of days back. Isn't it obvious? Kumo has great interest in my former student. They must have come across some of the scrolls he left behind. While Hagoromo would not have written down anything on how to perform Nishu, he would be certain to refer to it. Though I must say, this boy keeps surprising me. It has been less than a week and already he has nearly mastered wind-based Nishu, or as Hamura jokingly called it, airbending. I wonder if he has recreated the katas Hagoromo created to use airbending to its full potential? The three Kage turned to the source only to see a very old brown toad, the size of a human, wearing a green haori and holding a large wooden staff sitting at the top of the box. The guards accompanying the Raikage and Kazekage stiffened but relaxed when Hiruzen bowed to the old toad. Greetings Gamamaru-sama, are you here to evaluate him again? Hiruzen asked, causing the eyes of the other two Kage to widen in shock. Both of them could feel the suppressed power flowing through the old toad. See, one of the Raikage's bodyguard tried to sense the depth of the toad's chakra only to shiver when he realized that even Karabi and Biju Moto did not release that much power. Not really, Sarutobi-kun. I just came to see how much he has progressed since a week ago. He has potential to surpass Hagoromo-kun. I want to see all of his skills to be able to bring it out. Now, why don't you start the match? Hiruzen nodded before he addressed the crowd. The test will be broken into two parts. The first part will be the specialists in each of the four common shinobi fields, Genjutsu, Taijutsu, Bukijutsu, and Ninjutsu, testing Naruto-kun separately. Second part will be an all-out spar, Naruto-kun vs. the team of Hitaki Kakashi, Yuhi Kurenai, Might Guy, Sarutobi Asuma, Mitarashi Anko, and the two ANBU, Kat and Tora. Isn't this a bit too much for a fresh genin? I asked with concern, with Raza nodding in agreement. Neither Kage could believe that a recently graduated genin would need such an illustrious team to test. All 5 of the jonin were legendary in their own right. Adding 2 ANBU into the mix was overkill. Hiruzen just chuckled, not really. I am more worried for my jonin and ANBU. I hope they do not underestimate him. I really don't want them being hospitalized. The two Kage just stared at the older Kage with uncertainty. Now start the evaluation. So, who is it going to be? Naruto said with a cocky grin causing Kurenai to frown. The red-eyed black-haired woman walked forward weaving hand seals. I will be first. Now break the following genjutsu I will put on you, Megan, Narakumi no Jutsu. The group of Jonin and Anbu waited for a few moments for a reaction from Naruto before Kakashi's lone eye widened in realization. Low-ranking genjutsu don't work on you, do they? Naruto chuckled before replying with a nod. Kakashi smiled beneath his mask. You are just like Kushina-sama. You were waiting for one of us to realize that. That's right. Thanks to Kurama and my Sannin Moto, any genjutsu below B rank just flows over me without affecting me. Care to try again, Kurenai-sensei? Kurenai's frown deepened before casting a higher-ranked genjutsu. Kai! Naruto said as he pulsed his chakra without even making a hand seal. Good try, but try again. 3-layer genjutsu was good, but with my senjutsu, it is useless. You can't fool my senses that easily. What do you mean? You aren't in Sannin Moto, are you? Kurenai asked with confusion, getting a chuckle from the blonde Jinchuriki. Not at the moment, but I can enter and leave Sannin Moto 2 times in a second. He is going to surpass every expectations I have for him. I did not think he would have progressed this far in just a week. Even Hagoromo-kun didn't reach this stage at the pace Naruto-kun did. Ganamaru said just as an old silver monkey appeared beside the old toad. The monkey was wearing a faded yellow haori with a gnarled staff in his hands. He is truly deserving of your attention, Gamamaru-sensei. I didn't expect him to be this prodigious. Gamamaru nodded in agreement. True Ozaru Senindano, I didn't expect to meet another prodigy like him in my lifetime. Prodigies like him come once in multiple millennia. The Kages all widened their eyes in shock. One could easily explain the presence of Gamamaru, the presence of the Ozaru Sannin was not. Alright, I can tell that any genjutsu under an S-ranked one is useless against you, and since most S-ranked genjutsu are also dojutsu-based, I will have to pass you for genjutsu detection and release. Now I heard rumors that you have an A-ranked genjutsu under your belt. Like to show me? Kurenai asked with interest. It is not every day a genin can boast of mastering such high-level techniques, specifically genjutsu. Not at this moment, but I can assure you that you will face it during the spar. Naruto said, causing Kurenai to nod in approval. Alright, then I will say that your genjutsu skills will fall under low A rank. You can take him now, Guy. Kurenai said as she walked away. Guy nodded and rushed towards Naruto with a massive grin on his face. Let's hold back for the moment, shall we, Naruto-kun? We do not need to overextend ourselves before the spar. Naruto nodded. Alright, Guy-sensei. Guy nodded before he pulled out a pouch and started pouring chalk dust to form a circle, 20 foot in diameter. After finishing the preparations, Guy nodded to himself and addressed Naruto. In this evaluation, we will only use taijutsu. Since your style is heavily dependent on senjutsu, you may use it. It is up to you. You will need to stay in the circle for 10 minutes or push me out. I won't be using senjutsu. Granted, my taijutsu style requires senjutsu to use it to its full potential, but you aren't going to use the Hashimen Tanko, so it would be unfair to you. Guy nodded in appreciation. Then the time limit is 5 minutes. Kakashi, will you be the moderator? Kakashi nodded as he walked to the edge of the circle. On the count of 3, start. 3. Naruto and Guy got into their starting stances. 2. Both stared at each other with indescribable expressions. 1. Both of their muscles tensed in preparation. Hajime. As Kakashi began the match, both ninja rushed towards each other at great speeds before their fists collided, beginning a sequence of kicks, punches, and leg sweeps at each other, blocking some, dodging others, and parrying the rest. For the next 3 minutes, both used the basics of their styles to try and get an upper hand on their opponent, throwing in a couple of more advanced techniques into the mix, hoping to take their opponent by surprise. This is unreal. How can a genin hold his own against a jonin of Guy's stature? Guy is borderline S-rank himself. A jonin whispered in shock when a chuckling caught her attention. She looked about trying to find the source only to come up blank. Shaking her head, the woman returned her attention back to the match to see Naruto jumping up into the air like a frog before bringing his extended leg down on Guy's head. In retaliation, Guy jumped back before rushing in with a roundhouse kick, calling out, Konoha Gariki Senpo. Oh Kami, Guy-sensei isn't holding back as I thought he would. Tenten said with anxiety. Her teammates, Lee and Niji, both nodded in agreement, though Niji's face held a pained expression. What do you mean? Tenten turned to see a blonde-haired girl with light blue eyes was the source of the question. I thought that Gai-sensei would only keep to the basics and not include any of the more advanced technique related to the Goken Taijutsu style. Who are you anyway? Oh sorry, I am Yamanaka Ino, nice to meet you senpai. Anyway, Naruto is my classmate. Until now, we all believed that he was a dope, a fool. Now we aren't too sure. Tenten nodded. The academy ranks are useless in the real world. I was the top kunoichi of last year, Niji was the rookie of the year, and Lee was the dope. I used to believe that if Lee, as he is now, went against someone from your class, he would come out on top. That was before I learned that Lee had a trump card that could easily allow him to take down most Chunin. In fact, I am sure that he could easily defeat Niji now, even though Niji is considered a prodigy. I see what you mean. Even though he was the dope in class, real-life experience and training has made him far better than anyone expected, Ino said, getting a nod from Tenten. That was before we faced Team 7 yesterday. Their sensei asked our team to help administer the genin test on them. Gai-sensei accepted. At first, we believed that we would win, and that too quite easily. That was far from the truth. Uchiha Sasuke-san was easily able to keep up with Niji until Niji pulled out one of his trump cards, taking Sasuke by surprise. At the same time, Haruno Sakura-san was a monster, shattering the ground with a single punch, pulverizing rocks into dust with a kick. What genin can face off against such power? Her power was astounding. Her strength was reminiscent of Tsunade-sama's. Then there was Uzumaki Naruto-sama. He did the least, the leader of their team. Simple planning, overwhelming power, and unpredictable behavior, he easily set us up for Sakura-san to finish the match with her monstrous strength. Yash, you forgot that Naruto-kun had shared the Kyuubi's chakra with his teammates, which empowered, healed, and protected them. The Kyuubi's chakra was so potent that even some of my strongest techniques did not faze Naruto-kun or Sakura-chan, Lee said with a grin, causing Team 8 and Team 10 to look at Naruto in shock. I didn't know that Biju chakra could be shared? Didn't we learn that Biju chakra was corrosive? Shikamaru asked with a shiver running down his spine. What do you mean? Chakra can't be shared? Everyone glared at the shaggy-haired boy who said that. Anokiba, you do know that Iraianen tend to transfer their chakra to some patients who have suffered from chakra exhaustion, right? Choji asked before he said, Tsunade-sama created that technique, though most Iraianen don't have the capability to do that. I know that the present head doctor and a couple of his staff can. They buy the special food pills my clan makes just for that. How did the dobe learn that? Kiba asked, causing everyone around him to shake their heads in exasperation, even the normally kind Hinata. I mean, he isn't an Iraianen. Sakura probably taught him, or at least told him the theory. She is the youngest fully certified Iraianen with specialization in surgery and battlefield qualification. Ino said offhandedly, causing everyone to look at the pink-haired girl in awe. That's beside the point. How did the troublesome blonde transfer Biju chakra? Shikamaru asked with irritation. Naruto actively purifies the corrosive Biju chakra by mixing it with his own before transferring it. Chakra carries the feel of one's soul. Naruto's goodness purifies the dark taint of the Kyuubi. Now the 5 minutes are nearly up. You had all better turn your attention back to the battlefield. As the 5-minute mark was passed, Kakashi walked forward and called out, 5 minutes are up. This is a tie. Guy and Naruto disengaged and bowed to each other before straightening up. You have proved yourself in the intense art of taijutsu. My evaluation of your hampered skills gives me the impression of you being a mid-A rank skill. With your senjutsu, I would dare to say that you are easily S-ranked. Thank you for your compliment, Gai-sensei. Naruto said with a bow before he asked, if you don't mind, may I and my team train with you from time to time, particularly weight training? I saw the chakra weights you are wearing and felt the chakra within them. Yash, what youthful proposition. If your sensei doesn't have any problem with it, I will be happy to oblige, Guy said with a smile. As long as that if after I have released the team, what they do is up to them, if they want to better themselves, who am I to stop them? Kakashi said as Asuma walked forward and whispered into the silver-haired Jonin's ear. After a few moments of quiet debating, both nodded before Kakashi turned to the Kage box. Hokage-sama, Asuma and I have concluded that to test Naruto in ninjutsu and bukijutsu, it is better to do it in the spar, so may we proceed? Are you going to allow it, Hokage-dano? Raza asked with curiosity, as Hiruzen hummed to himself. I think it wise to allow the individual evaluation to end. Bukijutsu and ninjutsu cannot be tested like that, I said, causing Hiruzen to nod. You are right, Idano. Proceed with the spar. Jiraiya will be your proctor. Hiruzen surprising everyone present. Jiraiya-sama, when did he return? Kurenai asked, getting shrugs from her fellow Jonin and the ANBU. Alright everyone, Naruto take the south side, team take the north side, Jiraiya said as he phased into existence beside Naruto. From Naruto's expression, Kakashi concluded that either Naruto knew beforehand that Jiraiya was going to be present, or he had sensed Jiraiya when the rest of his colleagues failed. Then again, Kakashi was not surprised. One cannot become a spy master without the skills to fool ANBU. After everyone was in place, Jiraiya started to announce the rules. Since everyone is in place, let me announce the rules. First, I have final say. When I declare a participant unable to fight, or are to retire, I expect that shinobi or kunoichi to promptly obey. Disobey my command, you find yourself suspended. Second, if your opponent concedes, you promptly get back from them. Third, no techniques that guarantee a kill are to be used. Fourth, have fun. Hajime. The team of 7 experienced shinobi and kunoichi could not even react before a crushing pressure fell on their shoulders, forcing them onto their knees. Kakashi, Guy, and Tora forced their heads up and looked at Naruto with apprehension and shock. An aura of blue flame-like chakra was visible around Naruto, chakra visible to the naked eye. All three realized that Naruto's chakra was so dense that channeling all of that was causing it to become visible. They noted that there were cracks on the ground originating from Naruto. I am so happy that Naruto didn't really focus his chakra that much during the test, Iruka said as he took a bite from the stick of dango in his hand. Beside him, Izuma looked confused. Seeing his comrade's confusion, Iruka decided to explain himself. I asked Naruto to channel as much chakra he could. The effects were similar to what you see Izuma, just that this time Naruto has focused the chakra pressure on his opponents. I didn't know that chakra had pressure, Kotetsu asked with shock as he watched Kurenai shiver as she tried to stand up. Beside her, her team was barely standing, with Kakashi, Guy, and Tora being the only ones not shivering. The fearless Anko was seen looking at the boy in horror, while Asuma and Kat were cautiously watching the boy for sudden movements. Chakra does have pressure. The only reason we don't feel it is because our own usually nullifies the pressure we are feeling. The only time we would feel the pressure is when we face off against someone with reserves that are massive in comparison to your own. Therefore, you can see why Naruto is able to release such a monstrous pressure. What's shocking is that this is the pressure exhibited by his own chakra. I don't even want to think what pressure we would feel if Naruto had tapped into the Kyuubi's reserves as well. Izumo and Kotetsu at the revelation, they remembered how deadly Naruto was when pranking, having been targeted before. Now, seeing a portion to the young Jinchuriki's true power, they made a mental note not to draw his ire ever again, especially since the kid could easily bring most rookie jonin to their knees by just flexing his chakra. This is interesting. I did not think I would see a child other than Gaara being able to do this, that too without his Biju-S chakra, Raza said, causing the other Kages to nod in understanding. Even Hiruzen was shocked at the power his surrogate grandson was exhibiting. I am having second thoughts now. I am not even down there, and yet I can feel the slight pressure from right here. It reminds me of being in Hashirama-sensei's presence, Hiruzen said, getting surprised looks from Raza. I don't know much about Hashirama-sama, but his presence reminds me of my brother in Biju Moto. I must say, if he is half as good as his father, I would like to spar with him to see how far I have come, I said with grin. What is happening? Kurenai gritted out as she finally stood up, her hands and feet still shaking. If I didn't know any better, I would say I was facing off against Orochimaru, just without the killing intent, Anko said with a blank look in her eyes. Everyone looked at the woman in shock. If you all can't stand in the very presence of my own chakra, without any augmentation through Senjutsu or Biju chakra, how can you expect to fight me, let alone evaluate me? Naruto taunted before his blue eyes became red in color. At the same time, an incomprehensible killing intent filled the stadium. The worst of it centered on the 7 ninja in front of Naruto. All around the stadium, many civilians fainted, Genin and Chunin started vomiting, the Jonin were shaking, and the Kages sweating profusely. All of them realized that Naruto was channeling Kyuubi's killing intent and hatred. The presence did not last long, barely a couple of seconds before it vanished, but the damage was already done. Kurenai had fainted, foaming at the mouth. Anko, Asuma, and Kat were kneeling on the ground panting. Kakashi, Guy, and Tora were barely standing, with Guy's face covered in sweat. One could conclude that Kakashi and Tora also had sweaty faces. Kurenai is retired. Medic, take Kurenai out of the field. It seems that she needs immediate medical attention. A team of medics ran onto the field and quickly carted off the unconscious Kurenai. Jiraiya turned and said, Naruto killed the use of the killing intent. This is a spar to evaluate your skills. Using QB's killing intent to knock out opponents showcases nothing. I use that to judge the level of my opponents. If any of them fainted, as Kurenai did, then it was safe to assume that they would not be able to survive the spar. She could have lost her life. It would be a tragic accident, but Konoha would have lost a fine jonin. That was too much a risk for me to take. Killing intent is after all a common tool among high-level shinobi. Jiraiya nodded before he turned to the team of Jonin and ANBU. You six feeling alright? Do any of you want to retire? Jiraiya asked, getting glare from Anko. Don't coddle me, pervert. I am not a snot-nosed genin. Jiraiya nodded to Anko after seeing the others agreeing with the snake mistress. Nodding, Jiraiya jumped back, calling out, Hajime. Before Naruto could even react, Guy, Cat, and Asuma charged forward, Cat drawing her sword and Asuma channeling chakra through his butterfly knives. At the same time, Kakashi revealed his Sharingan and started weaving hand seals for a jutsu. Anko thrust forth her palms, releasing multiple snakes ready to bite the blonde-haired Jinchuriki. Finally, Tora had weaved through a couple of hand seals before blowing out a strong jet of water. Sunai Jashu. Anko had called out from behind Asuma, causing the Jonin to jump to the side as the snakes flew by. At the same time, a stream of pressurized water flew by Cat's head with Tora calling out, Suetun, Mizurappa. As the two jutsu flew towards Naruto, the blonde Jinchuriki just grinned before he went through a sequence of taijutsu katas. The katas mesmerized everyone. Each kata was some kind of circular motion reminiscent to the Hyuga Juken, but still fundamentally different. The most mesmerizing thing about the katas was the motion of the winds. As Naruto went through one kata to another, the air around him flowed, following the motion of his arms. A single upward punch caused a wave of wind to intercept the snakes and throw them out of course. With a palm thrust, a stream of compressed air collided with the stream of water and nullified it. With a leg sweep, a blade of wind flew at the three approaching ninja, causing them to jump back in order to dodge. That child is truly a diamond in the rough. He has already mastered the basics of wind nishu. He even recreated the Bagua Zhang Taijutsu style to help in manipulating the winds, and he is not even in Senin Moto. I didn't expect him to become this proficient already. Gamamaru commented with surprise, getting shocked looks for the monkey sage and the Kages. The group kept their attention to what Naruto would do next. They saw Kakashi breath out a massive ball of fire at Naruto. At the same time, Asuma released a wave of strong winds to power the flames up, causing the ball to increase in size. They are going a bit far, aren't they? Raza asked with surprise at the collaboration ninjutsu, just before his jaws dropped at the unexpected event that occurred. As the flames flew towards Naruto, the young sage took a deep breath before he clapped his hands together before thrusting them forward in a spear-like motion. To everyone's shock, the flames split from the point of contact and flew past Naruto before quickly dying out. Gamamaru chuckled. It seems that he has an instinctive connection to the elements. A stronger one than even Hagoromo had. Even with Kage Bunshin, it would be impossible for him to master Fire Nishu already, yet he used a high-ranking Fire Nishu technique to redirect and suppress the fire, all the while executing a perfect dancing dragon kata, truly an amazing feat. I am so happy I decided to accept his help. Hey Sakura, did you know that he was this powerful without the fox? Sasuke asked with trepidation. He really did not want to hear the answer, but he still needed to. Until the spar with Gamamaru-sama a week ago, he didn't have any knowledge on the use of Nishu. He must have been using the Kage Bunshin to practice and master it. The shocking thing is that he had not even planned to start Fire Nishu until he mastered wind, water, and earth. Then again, he is driven by instinct during a fight. I have seen him instinctively create and master a technique during a fight, Sakura said, causing Sasuke to nod in realization. At the same time, the rest of the genin around them were gaping at Sakura's statement. They could not believe there was someone able to create and master techniques in the heat of battle. That's good, then we still have a chance to catch up with him, I hope, Sasuke said with a grin. Sakura giggled at that before commenting, I don't think there is anyone in existence at this moment who will be able to challenge him. Catching up to him, we will have to see. You think he would teach us how to bend the elements to our will? Sasuke asked with a curious expression marring his usually stoic face. As he is doing, I don't know if we would even be able to do it. The amount of chakra needed to bend an element to our will would be astronomical. I do not think anyone but a Kage or another Jinchuriki would be able to do that. Then again, we may need to master Senjutsu before we can even think of learning to bend the elements, Sakura said, causing Sasuke to look down in disappointment. But we can ask him and see if we can learn as well. I have to say, Naruto, you are holding back and still giving us problems. I think it is time we took it up a notch, Kakashi said as he nodded to Kat, who was behind Naruto. Kat nodded back before quickly weaving hand seals before launching a beam of blue-white lightning at Naruto's back. The hair on the back of Naruto's neck stood up, causing the boy to react instinctively. Raising a hand, his index and middle finger up, he pointed it at the approaching lightning. All around the stadium, everyone was clutching the edges of their seats and watched in horror as the lightning struck the tips of Naruto's fingers. Naruto! Sakura screamed out in panic, only to stop screaming in shock of what she saw. The lightning was absorbed into Naruto's fingers, small sparks flowing down his arms, through his belly and then up the other arm. At the same time, Naruto spun around and pointed the index and middle finger of the other hand at Tora, before launching out a larger quantity of lightning at the shocked Anbu. Reacting on instinct, Tora quickly weaved hand seals before slamming his hands onto the ground. To everyone other than Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, Kat, Jiraiya and Hiruzen's surprise, a dome of interlocking wooden pillars formed around the Anbu just as lightning struck the dome. A massive explosion occurred, obscuring the dome in smoke. He. Kat kept repeating in shock, with Anko nodded in understanding. It was not every day an opponent turned their own jutsu against themselves or their comrades. Kakashi and Guy looked at Naruto with shock and awe. This is interesting. Being able to redirect lightning is not something I have ever seen. Especially since lightning generation is a very advanced fire Nishu technique. Gamamaru said, getting confused looks from the Kage. No, Gamamaru-sama, I don't mean to be rude, but isn't lightning a completely separate element? I asked with trepidation. Gamamaru stared at the muscular Kage with a scrutinizing look before sighing. It seems that many have forgotten that fire and lightning are two sides of the same coin. Both are connected to heat. Fire thrives on heat, while a lightning strike generates heat. Both fire and lightning are elements based on pure energy. Therefore, when I mean fire Nishu, I mean Ninshu that directly or indirectly manipulates heat. I mean no offense to you Raiten users, but Nishu and ninjutsu are fundamentally different. What Naruto is doing is still much more different from the Nishu I know. If I was a betting toad, I would bet all of my experience and wisdom that he has taken Nishu to never before been seen heights. To clarify, he should not be able to manipulate the winds to this degree without senjutsu. At first, I thought he was tapping into senjutsu and releasing it after the technique was done. Now I am not too sure. Everyone in the Kage box looked at the wizened old toad in shock. Someone with that much experience and wisdom not being able to tell what Naruto was doing was truly a shocking revelation. I think it is time that we end this before someone gets hurt, Naruto said as the orange pigmentation appeared around his eyes before a golden cloak of chakra formed around him. Before the shocked ninja could react, Naruto had appeared above the wooden dome with a swirling ball of chakra in his hand. The five ninja watched as a swirling blade of wind chakra formed around the orb, releasing a high-pitched whistling sound. Kakashi's eyes widened in shock. That is the completed version of his sensei's Rasengan. Knowing the destructive abilities of the original, Kakashi screamed out, "Tenzo, get out of there! Senpo, Rasen Shuriken!" Naruto called out as the chakra arm extended and collided with the dome. Everyone watched in shock as the small orb exploded and encompassed the wooden dome within a dome of swirling winds. When the jutsu faded, the wooden dome had vanished. Not even sawdust remained. "Tenzo!" Kat called out in shock and fell to her knees. Kat's mask fell, revealing the face of a beautiful woman with tears flowing down her face originating from her black eyes. Anko crouched down beside the distraught woman and placed a hand on her shoulder while glaring at Naruto. "How could you? Why would you use a technique that was guaranteed to kill? Jiraiya-sama, why didn't you stop him?" Anko gritted out just before another Naruto appeared beside Jiraiya and placed the unconscious Tora on the ground before dissipating in a puff of smoke. "All of you are elite shinobi of Konoha. A supposed death of your comrade has reduced you to such a pathetic state, despicable. If you had any trust in your teammate, you would have known that he would have escaped. You even let your guard down right at this moment," Naruto said before he vanished from sight, reappeared beside the two women, and knocked them out before they could even widen their eyes in shock. "What the hell? I did not expect him to be this fast. It took me years to reach my top speed and he surpassed it in under a quarter of that time," I said with wide eyes before turning to Hiruzen. "What do you feed these genin Hokage Dano?" Hiruzen chuckled, "I think that I have to make ramen a staple diet for all my shinobi. I can't believe that Naruto-kun is this strong by only surviving on ramen." Raza and I looked at the old Kage with cautious looks, not sure if they should believe him or not. "Kakashi, can you get me a moment? I wish I did not have to use this," but Naruto-kun is too youthful to dishonor him by holding back anymore. Seeing that Guy was serious, Kakashi nodded before charging at Naruto with his Sharingan spinning. Before he even covered half the distance, Kakashi saw that Naruto's chakra coils pulsed right before Naruto smacked his foot into the ground, causing a large boulder to shoot up into the air right in front of the blonde Jinchuriki before he threw a punch in Kakashi's direction. The Sharingan-wielding Jonin's eyes widened in shock as the boulder flew at him with great speed. Looking around, he saw that there was not anything to substitute with, so Kakashi sighed as his lone Sharingan morphed into a three-pronged pinwheel. Kamui! Everyone stared at the boulder in shock. They saw it start twisting in on itself before suddenly vanishing into non-existence. At the same time, Kakashi clutched his Sharingan and fell on his knees. Not wasting any time, Naruto appeared beside the downed Jonin in an impressive burst of speed and held a kunai to the man's throat. Yield, Kakashi-sensei. I can sense that you are about to fall over due to extreme chakra exhaustion. Kakashi nodded before calling out in a raspy voice, I concede. Kakashi concedes defeat. Medics, take the man away. Jiraiya called out just as Naruto placed a hand on Kakashi's shoulder, causing a cloak of red bubbling chakra to envelope the man. That right there is what we told you about. Naruto-sama is sharing Kyuubi's chakra with Kakashi-sensei, Tenten said as she excitedly pointed towards Kakashi. The other genin watched as the chakra changed from red to yellow before being absorbed into Kakashi. What did he do? Ino asked in shock when Sakura replied with an uncertain tone, I think he changed the composition of the chakra from balanced yin-yang to higher yang concentration. Why would he do that? Shikamaru asked with curiosity. Yang chakra is the physical aspect of chakra. The reason Biju chakra has such regenerative abilities without weakening the life force of the patient is due to the strong life force the Biju possesses. So disbalancing the chakra into yang should increase the potency of the healing abilities of the chakra. I think that Naruto is trying to heal Kakashi-sensei's chakra exhaustion. That's interesting. Sakura nodded to Shikamaru before turning back to the evaluation, only to look surprised at what Guy did. Massive booms had sounded around the arena as soon as Kakashi rushed towards Naruto. While Naruto was distracted, he used the moment to unlock his inner gates. Kaimon Kai! Kyumon Kai! Simon Kai! Shaman Kai! Taman Kai! Kiman Kai! Guy's hair was flowing up due to the intense chakra pressure around him. His skin had become dark red, while his eyes had become pure white. The most amazing thing about him was the green aura surrounding him. He waited until Kakashi left using a shunshin before drawing Naruto's attention to himself. I must say, Naruto-kun, you are the most youthful ninja I have ever seen. Since you defeated all of my comrades without even trying, it would be a slight to you not to fight at my best, so prepare to face the power of the green beast. Guy said before he vanished from view and reappeared behind Naruto, the Jinchuriki still clad in Kyuubi chakra moto augmented with Senjutsu, and kicked him into the air before continuing to kick the young blonde Jinchuriki higher into the air before performing a flip and crashing an extended fist and foot into Naruto's stomach. Yura Renge! Guy called out as Naruto flew towards the ground. Everyone cried out in shock at the beating Guy gave the young blonde boy, but sighed in relief when Naruto performed a midair pirouette, causing a massive gust of wind to catch him before he kissed the unforgiving ground. Everyone watched in shock as both landed on their feet and stared at each other with inscrutable expressions. After what seemed like hours, Guy finally spoke up. Just as I expected, your Senjutsu-enhanced Kyuubi chakra cloak is too strong to pierce using such weak techniques. Let's see how it stands up to my next move. Naruto grinned before he and Guy vanished and reappeared clashing in the middle of the field. Every punch Guy threw caught alight in flames, while Naruto used minor circular motions to cause gusts to wind to blow away the flames, while the motions themselves easily redirected the punches. Jumping back, Naruto did a circular leg sweep at Guy, causing a wave of wind to fly towards the spandex-clad Jonin. With a show of strength, Guy easily withstood the gale force wind before he grinned. It seems that nothing less than the Red Beast would be able to fight against someone of your caliber, but since releasing the Red Beast would kill me, let us be satisfied with the Blue Beast. Kaiaman Kai! Don't, Gi-sensei! You will be hospitalized! Lee shouted out in fear, causing the others to look at the boy in shock. What do you mean Guy-sensei will be hospitalized? Tenten asked with a shaky voice, causing Lee to look at the others with a serious expression. The Hashiman Tanko no Jin is a kinjutsu, the pinnacle of taijutsu. Opening the inner gates grants great strength but rips the body apart from the inside. The greater the number of gates opened, the greater the effect on the body. One has to prepare the body to survive the opening of the gates. That is one of the reasons, Guy-sensei, and I trained so hard. If we slack off, our own techniques will kill us. Releasing the blue beast is synonymous to opening 7 of the 8 gates. The blue vapors you see surrounding Gai-sensei are the result of his own sweat vaporizing mixing with the chakra being released by Gai-sensei. Opening the 8th gate would give Gai-sensei power to rival all 3 Kage at the same time, but in the end, he would die from the strain. No amount of training would allow someone's body to survive the strain. After Lee finished his explanation, the rest of the genin excluding Sakura stared Gai in horror. I can sense the strain your body is being put through. Are you sure you don't want to concede? Naruto asked with concern. Gai just shook his head before he placed a hand, palm facing towards Naruto, in front of his face and tapped it with his other hand. A massive air pressure formed around Gai as he formed a unique tiger-shaped hand seal. The air pressure solidified into a massive roaring tiger head with Gai in the center of the mouth. As Gai was preparing his technique, Naruto seemed to have been dancing. Streams of wind congregated above the boy with every sweeping circular motions, leaps, and twists. As both shinobi finished their preparations, both thrust their fists towards their opponents. From Gai's side, the tiger head flew forward, ripping the ground to pieces. At the same time, the swirling orb of wind floating above Naruto's head compressed into a tiny ball before exploding out into a massive eastern dragon and flew towards the approaching tiger head. The two techniques collided, filling the whole arena with dust and winds. All the spectators expectantly waited for the next bout, only to be surprised when a massive sphere of swirling wind was conjured in the middle of the field. They saw Naruto's silhouette floating in the middle of the sphere, glowing with golden chakra. Near him, Gai's silhouette could be seen crouching on the ground, the blue vapors flying about wildly. I think we have had enough fun, don't you, Gai-sensei? Naruto called out right before the sphere contracted into a small ball in Naruto's hand. Thrusting his arms forward, the small sphere of dense winds flew towards the immobile Gai with the speed of a flying arrow. Gai watched the small ball approach, but resigned himself to be hit by it. He knew that he would not recover in time to dodge. Just as the ball reached him, he closed his eyes and waited for the inevitable pain to come. After a while, when the expected pain failed to register, Gai opened his eyes to look at a wall of swirling wind. Before he could even stand up, the walls contracted around him as portions dissipated while others solidified into 5 orbs, one on each limb and the final on his head. Gai tried to free himself through brute force before he felt himself become woozy. His vision started to swim, and his breath became short. Gai increased his struggles, resulting in his breath becoming shorter. By the time he realized what was happening, it was too late. What did Naruto-kun do? Lee asked with concern. I don't know, but it looks like some kind of sealing technique, only made out of pure wind, Tenten said with an odd expression. Tenten is right. The spheres are carved with Fuinjutsu Shiki by a different concentration of Futon chakra. Have you seen him do such things before? Niji asked Sakura, only for the pinkette to shake her head. If it contains Fuinjutsu, he must have created it recently. Until a week ago, he did not know much about Fuinjutsu. Then again, his clan's specialty was Fuinjutsu, so I am not surprised that he is already this proficient. Niji nodded in understanding. There were prodigies born to clans who had a great understanding of their clan techniques. He was one himself. It seemed that Naruto was one as well. That's fine, but how is he doing that? Don't we need ink and tags to apply seals? Shikamaru asked with curiosity. Don't ask me, Tenten is the Fuinjutsu expert here. The only other one is the one using that technique. Sakura huffed in annoyance. The Uzumaki clan was always able to project seals using their own chakra. You can call it a pseudo-bloodline. They have done it for so long that the unique chakra signature of the clan had changed in its properties to allow such a thing. I know that it can be taught, but not to the level young Naruto-kun is doing. Jiraiya-sama can carve seals with chakra alone. Naidame-sama and Yandame-sama could apply a seal with just a touch. The group turned to see an old woman was the speaker. Seeing the inquiring looks from the youngsters, the woman chuckled and said, "The name's Hanako. I was a jonin that served under Naidame-sama during the Start Second War and under Sandame-sama under the Third. I was fortunate enough to see both Naidame-sama and Yandame-sama in combat personally. I was also had the honor to see the Uzumaki clan in action. Some of the sealing masters could take down rampaging Biju by manifesting chains out of their own chakra and using it as a medium to use their Fuinjutsu. However, Naruto-kun has taken it to a completely different level. How he is doing it without keeping a constant connection to the chakra, I do not know." So such levels of Fuinjutsu were common among the Uzumaki clan? Sasuke asked with interest. He had read that the Uzumaki was considered a clan at the same level as his own, the Uchiha. Now he was realizing why. Hanako nodded. That's right, though they also have a strong life force, allowing members of the clan and their descendants to live for much longer than average while having huge reserves of chakra and a strong healing factor. Meidou-gai has fainted, and with that, the evaluation spar is over. Shosha, Uzumaki Naruto. Jiraiya's voice filled the stadium, drawing everyone's attention back to the field. Sakura did not wait any longer and jumped over the barrier and onto the field, Team 9 following in her wake. As they reached down Gai, they could see small amount of blood seeping from the man's nose and mouth. Sakura crouched down beside the downed man, her palms glowing with green Iryo chakra. Before she could even place her hand on the unconscious man, Naruto placed his palm on Gai's chest, causing the bubbling chakra cloak to form around him. The cloak glowed golden for a few moments before being absorbed into Gai right before the man coughed and sat up. Lie back down, Gai-sensei, I need to check you, Sakura ordered as Lee and Tenten forced the man back down. Sakura scanned Gai with her jutsu for a few moments before sighing in relief. You are good to go, Gai-sensei. When Lee said that you would end up hospitalized, I was quite worried, but it seems that Naruto has decided that I wasn't a good enough medic, so he created a powerful healing technique, Sakura said with a smile. Of course, I don't think that you are a worthless medic. I just wanted Gai-sensei back on his feet as soon as possible, so I channeled Yang Chakra into him to speed up the process, just as Kurama does when I am injured. Naruto exclaimed. I was joking, Naruto. I already realized what you were doing. Besides, I doubt anyone other than you or a fellow Jinchuriki could do that, though I doubt that anyone else other than you would be able to purify Biju Chakra enough to make it effective. Naruto nodded in appreciation. You can get up, Gai-sensei, but make sure to rest for a couple of days. Yash, your springtime of youth is blooming with beautiful flowers. Being willing enough to heal your opponent when it is not your job is truly youthful. May the heart of yours never be tainted with unyouthfulness, Naruto-kun, Gai said with a smile as he stood up. And Sakura-chan, I will take your recommendation with humble acceptance. Sakura nodded with satisfaction before turning to Naruto only to see a horse-masked Anbu talking with her teammate. Naruto-sama, Hokage-sama wishes to speak with you and your team, right after Kakashi-senpai is given the clean bill of health. Naruto nodded to the Anbu, causing the man to bow before vanishing in a puff of smoke. You heard him, right? Sakura sighed before nodding. Yeah, I heard. What do you think this is about? Calling you, I would understand, but the whole team. I don't know, but we will find out soon anyway, Naruto said as he pointed towards the approaching Kakashi and Sasuke. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see the next part, don't forget to turn on notifications by hitting that bell icon. Please like, subscribe, and comment below to let me know your thoughts. Check out my other videos for more content you might enjoy. Until next time, take care.